Jeremy, right? Listen, you told me you were going to drop something. I'm looking at this now, and there's nothing out. Yeah, listen, you dropped two videos right prior, which is it's grown my channel. Yeah, and I appreciate that. But why you not? Why no? Drop it. Just drop it, Jeremy. Drop. Right, I've got to start the show anyway. Yes, drop it.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict in the House tonight. When's it gonna drop? I think. See, I'm confused. Something may have dropped, but it's Somebody help me out with this, boys. What is it?
Preliminary report.
Preliminary.
It's
preliminary.
It's the prelims.
It's a preliminary report.
Prelims.
So it's like it's prepping us for the actual report. Is it prepping us for the real report?
No.
I
don't know. Hey, today's the 25th. It's just a deadline, people. It doesn't mean they were going to drop anything. If they do, they're going to do it while we're talking because they're going to run out of time. They have, I would say, 1 hour. If they don't do it within an hour, they're not doing it.
Would it be good if someone needs to drop a video? That's what needs to happen.
Right. I need something to talk about.
Well, I mean, again, this is just a deadline. As we suspected, there was a very good possibility we weren't getting anything in our hands today. It was all the process. The 180 days was the process. It wasn't like we were waiting for Santa Claus and woke up this morning and saw that he hadn't come. Although I think some people held that sort of mentality that we're definitely going to get something on this day.
Yeah. Well, that's the media was doing that.
Wreaking havoc. Thank you, my friend.
And because, wreaking havoc, kick aspirin. Cheers, mate. Thanks for all the hard work you covering the countdown disclosure. It's a shame it ended up like I thought it would. Maybe next time. Next time. You're right. And it happens every 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But is this report actually, this could be it?
It could be, but I doubt it. It's a prelim report. That's before. It's like they're giving us a timeline of what's going to be dropped. So if you look at that report, that prelim report, it goes all the way back to 2005, and it says who was named the director of what and all this other stuff. It doesn't give us any evidence. It doesn't show us any documents. It doesn't show us any videos or any links to go to. So it's a prelim report on what may or may not be happening, dropping today. And today's the deadline, so it would have to be something. Wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know.
No,
absolutely.
Yeah.
When you said it's on the back of the COVID bill, well, not on the back of it, but it's going to be on the.
If
COVID
it's released, it would say this is because of the. It would tell us why it's being released, where it came from, because of the COVID thing that it was thrown into.
And YouTube, we're only saying that because it's relevant. Yeah, don't get your knickers in a twist. But yeah, it's frustrating the hell out of me because I expected it to drop at about 2 o'clock my time. I thought it was going to be your morning time. I've just spoke with Osvaldo, and he says, you know what? He says it's going to come out after 5 o'clock. He thinks it's going to come out after 5 o'clock just because of, you guys, you're having your tea and that, and something to read.
So he thinks it should be, like I said, between now and the next hour, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Which will take it nicely into your show, Rich.
No.
Thank you, Alien Girl.
Well, I would have to start my show when this one ends. Yeah, I would probably do that. I don't even have it set up yet.
It's... Yeah, go ahead.
No.
I was just going to kind of piggyback on that a little bit. You're flattering. I think Rich is right. If we're going to see something at all, it should come within, in my opinion, in the next 2 hours. You're looking at primetime news broadcasting. This is, when people are just sitting down to dinner, flipping on CNN, Fox, whatever platform you decide. on watching, this is the time. So if we don't see something within the next 2, I'll even give it 3 hours. That's it, folks. That's it.
Yeah, I would have to say
Pour
for
yourself
sure.
a warm milk and go to bed. Yep.
How depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
in a way. That's why I didn't get hyped up.
Well,
Guys-
expectation. Yep, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, everybody in the chat, I do really appreciate everybody like waiting to come in tonight. And you know, if you are new to the show, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell end, and get them thumbs up.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's,
But sorry, Darko, what are you gonna say, my friend?
I was going to say something along the lines of, make sure that you know what you're expecting. If you don't expect, you can't be disappointed, right? So, everybody had these high expectations, and it was supported by the media narrative. So everybody got super hyped up about this, and for nothing. But I think we saw a lot of that as we went on. If you were just paying attention and looking at not just one particular outlet, you could see the incontinuities between, what people were saying. So we were all confused for most of the time as to what actually might come. But again, this was a process.
So
Expectation at the helm.
Me and Lee were just Lee was reading it, and I'll be honest with you, I got bored and lost concentration because I couldn't help but look at Robert De Niro behind him. And it's just, if this is actually it, then if that's it, then I'm going to be drinking till the early hours because I am disappointed.
Well, yeah. I hate to tell you, that might be. Sorry, go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, I was just going to say, reading the preliminary, I'm the same as Ollie, I can't say it either, report, I think the most we can hope for by the looks of it is an extended version of that with at the bottom a load of could be's and like extraterrestrial craft being a could be at the bottom, isn't it? I think that's the very most we can expect.
Yeah. I mean, from watching your last 3 or 4 shows, Rich, and you've been covering this, and you had all the guys on last night, which was highly entertaining. But if anybody wants to see just so many people that disbelieve that anything's going to happen, go watch Rich's show last night. But the people in the chat want to see what's happening. So, Rich, can you kind of like, can you dissect this for us in the way that you do? You know, that Giordano way.
What would you like me to dissect? What part?
The preliminary part.
Oh, I hold on because I shut it down.
It's an American word. It's an American word. Yes,
it is. It must be. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Here we go.
We just call it the pre-report.
Oh, Jesus.
Where?
Holy crap. Sorry, guys. There was a huge thunder. That scared the hell out of me. You said...
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, holy mackerel. That came out of nowhere. All right, so 2005, if this is what you want me to do, all it does is go through a timeline of events from April 21st, 2005, all the way to 2021. These are just press releases. That's all. That's all it is. Speeches and interviews, congressional testimonies, news articles, and some news clips, and nothing that is a drop of information. It's just a timeline of the events that's happened in the last, since 2005. The DNI confirmation announcement, that was when John Negroponte, if that's how you say it, he was the first director of national intelligence. So I don't know if you remember when that happened. I sure don't.
No, I don't.
And then you go to 2011, if I just jump around, statement by the Director of National Intelligence on confirmation of Charles McGullough, Inspector General. I mean, this really isn't about UFOs. It's just showing a timeline of events for the people that are involved in what we're doing here about UFOs it looks like, because I haven't read it yet, but I'm just jumping through it for the show here now. It's just press releases. the resignation of Secretary Matisse and stuff like that. So as I'm going through this, I don't see anything that said UFO, UAP, or paranormal or esoteric or anything. It's really frustrating. So this is a preliminary report of just what's been put out to the press. Now, that's exactly what it is here. So if I go look at the photos, it just shows the people. It doesn't show UFOs. It shows people holding a microphone, giving speeches at the podium, at a panel, panel of people talking. This is nothing. I promise you. We should put the link maybe in the chat or something. People want to look at it.
Richard did, but I'll put it in again.
Oh, okay. So I don't see anything of importance here unless somebody else, Michael or Lee, if you see something I'm not seeing.
No,
please.
I mean, I just did the same thing you did before and just sort of scanned through it.
But you go ahead. I'm sorry.
So no, the only thing I took from it was right at the top where it talks about the sensors. It only has natural weather phenomena. What I take it was there was a acronym for something I don't know what it is. USG is that? I don't know what it stands for. Which I take it is US made technology, but there was nothing. There was nothing in that suggested like exotic origins of UAPs. That's what concerned me looking at it. It's right at the top.
I see a comment, and I'm not sure. It's from Helen Crystal Energy. She says, "GUFON, before all that is the prelim. The press reports come after."
So this is it.
I think she's saying, "Oh, I know what she's she's saying when there's a UFO report, this is what I'm assuming she's saying is that they put out the press and they talk about it. That's what we're seeing is the aftermath of them dropping anything UFO related. But none of these things have the words UFO in it. It's just announcements of people. I don't know. Look at it and figure it out. I guess I have to do more searching myself. But I don't see this as anything what we want. This is nothing to do with this excitement that's been rolling around for a month, 6 months actually. The last month's been crazy.
I mean, you've been saying on the show recently, Rich, that you kind of changed your tune a little bit about even Lou. Said, this guy could, he could actually be in it for the right reasons, and Paul Lou might not actually know. Maybe Lou's being used.
Yeah.
You've changed it. But I was surprised when you showed that clip. I'm shouting out.
No, you're not shouting. What clip?
The clip where
don't you see the cockroach on your microphone, you SOB? That's what it looked like to me. That's the size of them. Yeah, that's the right size. That's amazing. You're so funny. People don't know UFO Jesus had a bug crawling on his microphone during one of his videos. It was just awful.
Did you actually notice my sly?
Huh?
No, you didn't see when I actually put it there.
I was looking down. I was reading stuff in the chat. I didn't see it.
No, well,
that was a good...
anyway. Cox aside, I've lost my train of thought. Lou. I'd never seen that clip either. That was the first time I'd actually hear him say that it could be ours.
Yeah. He's changed his tune ever since the third phase thing with what's his name, Greer, put pressure on him, and everybody started saying, "Hey, man, don't you think it could be ours? You can't even say it." So I think it sunk in, and he finally said, "Look, it might be ours. We don't know. I don't think it is, but." And then he went off and said, "But whatever. It's definitely what do they call that when everything's paradigm shift? This could be a very big paradigm shift. Like, come on, man."
I like how if you're looking at this preliminary report, one of the things that jumps out to you on the second or third page there. Available reporting largely inconclusive. Limited data leaves most UAP unexplained. Well, if that's not the summarization for the entire article here, I don't know what is. You know, it's just, so again, it's like listening to some of these guys, and I hate to say it. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, there are people who have access to certain secrets and what have you, but they're going to come on the show. Okay, great. We'll have you on the show. You have information about us. Fantastic. Let me ask you a question. I can't talk. Wait, hold on. You came on the show. We're going to have an interview. We got to talk about something. I can't talk. So you just know things, but you won't tell us. That's correct. All right, get the hell out of here. I mean, what are you doing? That's what this is too. You know what I mean? We already know
My
this.
favorite,
You know,
my favorite thing that Lou says a lot. He answers like a police officer. He gives you directives. Well, look, I can't really speak because I'm still under oath and I have this to my government. But you could go in the streets and march or call your congressman, and like I tried that, and they won't call me back. So now what, Lou? Just keep marching in the streets, I guess. You got to be proactive, Rich. You got to be proactive.
Why is Lou gone on this big press tour and got so involved in things? And unless it is just for personal gain,
it is.
But yeah,
100%. This is strictly for Lou to get the rest of his life, get paid for doing interviews and saying the same thing over and over. Seriously, it won't last long though. People are already fed up with what he's saying, and they've heard it. I mean, I don't want him on my show. I'm going to get numbers for one night, and after that, it's back to reality. So it's not worth it to hear the same thing and not get answers. What has he done? Anybody know any work or body of evidence that Lou has and show that he actually worked and did research? I have never seen a stack of papers. All I see is a fake diploma on the wall.
But also, I've never seen a picture of Jeff Bezos as a child.
Yeah, you're one of your who the hell was it? I don't even know who it was that called you in last night, Rich. Said, okay, so you know who it was, but they even mentioned that. But yeah, that is curious, man. It's curious. Doesn't mean anything unless we dig deeper, but you know, it's curious.
Well, we don't see much of Lou with anybody either. The military pictures we see are just him by himself. For all we know, he could just be all made up Lou. I doubt it, but you know. Because we see one high school picture. Anyway, other than that, you know, you don't see anything. Same with Barack Obama. We never saw any pictures of him in school.
I think there is some early. I've seen an early picture of Lou suited up in his gear. You know,
just by himself. But what, doesn't he have friends and family that they take group photos with? Then he'll say, "Well, I don't want the world to know my personal life." You know, so I understand that part of it. So,
I get that. I get but the thing is that when you've put, I mean, I haven't put my name out there. No, people just know me as Ollie. But if your name's actually out there and you're actually willing to give the full, you're willing to kind of show who you are as a person, but you're not willing to show your life. A little bit weird.
Personal. Yeah.
The only reason, sorry. I was just going to say the only reason why I don't is because my wife asked me not to. That's the simple reason behind it. Sorry. What were you going to say, Rich?
Well, no, I don't remember what I was going to say at that point, but I could just add that I don't put anything about me, my personal family, or anything on the internet either. So, and I've been doing this for 17 years, so. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I understand why, but I'm just saying, usually if we have somebody in the military and they're the face of whatever and they're talking for everybody, yeah, you might see him in a group photo somewhere, but nothing. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think his history is strange. Why would you take a guy who claims he didn't care about UFOs until he was asked to go and work at ATIP in 2008? Why? Why would you put a guy with no experience? Because he's really good at telling people that are liars. He can figure it out and maybe see, you know, who cares?
I suppose you've always got to have your first job, haven't you? Yeah, before you gain experience in something, there's always got to be that first job you have before you start gaining experience. So it could just be that. In
the government, the most important thing in the world, you're going to put Lou in charge of that?
Oh no, see that I like Lou himself might be an odd situation, but I'm sure there's plenty of times where somebody that, especially in government, to be honest, probably government more than private sector, where someone completely unqualified has been given a job just because of who they are or who their family or friends are.
Yeah, I know. I see that. And his dad, was part of I think Gitmo, and was one of the few people who didn't get arrested for what happened over there illegally. So it is interesting, Lou's history with his family. Very interesting.
The thing is, Rich, when you go live, that background may actually mean something.
Yeah, no, it'll say non up here when I'm done. It'll say non-disclosure. No disclosure. I was trying to be optimistic for once.
To go back to your show last night, I honestly did think that you would get a lot of callers calling in, and they would be giving it the whole. I mean, there were some strange ones on there. Don't get me wrong; very nice people. But I honestly thought that they would say, I think we're going to get it all. I mean, I know somebody mentioned Roswell. But I was very surprised. You were kind of like trying. Come on, what are we going to get? What are we going to get? And like nothing.
I was pulling teeth. I'm like, so we're not getting anything? I mean, don't you think they're going to say something? What do you think's going to happen? Nothing. We're not going to get any information. We're not going to get redacted information. You don't think we're going to get any new information that's redacted, which is still nothing? Don't you think we might get something from Roswell or Rendlesham or Phoenix Lights? Nothing? Maybe some radar data. I mean, I would like to see radar data and clear video. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think they can do that right now. They can't.
But again, too, keep in mind that the majority of whatever evidence is out there, I'm sure, is sitting in privatized businesses or at least private hands. If you take in that dynamic, as we've discussed in the past, I mean, listen, we've been talking about this for the last 180 days with a focus on that. We've been talking about the subject at large for years before, but this is something we have literally beaten the hell out of in respect to a dead horse. I mean, trying to find any angle that we hadn't covered, and yet it's still the cadaver in front of us. It's the bloated beast that we have. I mean, we can't do anything with this stuff. I was hoping that one of two things would happen. One, at least what they gave us would validate that UAPs and UFOs are actually what we think they are. They're there in the sky. They're in the environment. We are seeing something we don't understand or what have you. Or two, that this would, whatever they gave us today, prep us for the next step in space exploration, because that's where they're going. This is the next frontier. So I thought this was more of could have been a softening up for perhaps the technology that they would have to release in order to get people on board to release and start utilizing in way of the public eye what they actually want to use. So they're probably sitting, if it is 70, 100 years of technology they're sitting on, you can, again, bet that a good 60 or 70% of that is stuff that they've already used, and they'll need to divulge that first to the public because they couldn't do it they need to divulge that first in order to build on whatever they're going to use next, which is what they're currently using. So, I mean, us being behind in this knowledge doesn't really help anybody, even the governments.
No, but once you crack open, the door of secrecy, everything should flow right out behind it. And that's what has to happen. You can't just say, hey, Roswell was legit. Okay, it was an off-world vehicle. We just can't tell you anymore. Wait, what? Now you're confirming without a doubt that you have a UFO in captivity? Oh, no. Now that starts everybody just going crazy. Well, how many bodies were there? Do we still have them? Are they still visiting? So it would really be a dangerous tightrope they'd be walking on. I would like that if they can give us something, but they can't. And I don't see why everybody thinks they're going to give us something that's going to put us to that next tier of intelligence with technology. I think if you look at society, the way things are going now, I think it's that we're not prepared for it. Society as a whole, we're not. Lou's been pitching it's a threat. So don't you think that if aliens started hanging out, if they were, people would want to shoot them? I don't know, man. I'm just out
Well,
there.
it's like we've been saying, whenever somebody says this, okay, the UFOs are a threat. What are you going to do about it? Are we just going to talk about it? Okay,
Yeah.
but they're a threat. They could cause us harm. So it's such an empty statement because there's no action behind it. And there's no, at least in our eyes, what we know about, there's no viable way to even approach something like that in respect to weaponization, what have you. We don't know what they have, right? You and I, we don't know what they have. Maybe there are other people in the government and the militaries that do have some idea. But again, what are we going to do about it? If it's a threat, it's not going away. So I guess it leaves us with that question that people have been asking: what's next? Are we going up in a logarithmic sense, or are we plateauing?
What if they gave us a little bit of truth in that, though? What if when Lou said about him asking, and I can't remember who he asked, but he said the demons. What if that is the truth? I mean, and this is coming from people, and I'm not religious at all, in any way or form. But I kind of find myself, the more and more I've been looking into this subject, I always go back to the paranormal. What if there is no flying saucers? What if that little bit of a crumb that Lou said in that sentence about them being demons, and I've heard it be mentioned before, the word demons. What if that's right?
Maybe it wasn't a literal thing; it was more figurative.
But if you think the world isn't ready for UFO disclosure, you go and tell the world there's actually demons and see what happens.
Exactly. But that comes from a Christian-based faith, however you word it, in our government. I mean, they believe in that strongly.
Mm-hmm.
The first person in the chat,
believe in God and everything. So anything that's not normal is demonic almost.
Yeah, I was just going to say the first person in the chat, Rich, that came up yesterday when I put this. I think it was yesterday when I put this out. Was he just said in the chat, the world Earth is flat.
That's so fun. That's a demon saying that.
What if it is? Oh, seriously, what if it is?
It isn't.
Well, even if it is, what are you going to do about it? It's ethereal. It's demonic. It's overpowering. What are you going to do? No, hey, listen, that to me is just muddles up anything grounded. Listen, I'm all for talking about the paranormal, but as you kind of mentioned here,
Michael.
Yeah. Yes.
You're rapping. Something's going on.
Your microphone, you're cutting up. Does
this sound better?
No, it's awful. It's like your internet connection is intermittent, like by tenths of a second.
It's the audio equivalent of body popping.
It's like we're talking like this.
Okay, let me come. I'm going to jump out and come right back in, okay?
Yeah.
What's that remind me of? This is the voice of Mr. Ons.
You don't think I sat in front of a mirror when I was younger doing all these kind of things?
I used to kiss myself in the mirror. Just
Bye.
It's okay. We've now nice wallpaper.
That's enough for me. Gotta go.
Don't take disclosure with you.
Sorry, you shocked me.
I missed the joke. Oh no, I missed the joke. The punchline.
I can't hear him.
You still can't hear me?
No, we can. I'm joking.
Michael.
Richie.
Mikey.
Did you ever kiss yourself? When you're in your teens.
It's hard. I used to be able to pull my bottom lip up over my head, but I mean, I can't do that anymore. Yeah, that's why I'm supposed to.
I used to get my fingers like that, just like.
All right.
Anyway, what I was saying, if you guys can hear me now, what Lee was saying, in respect to the demonics and or paranormal, you're sitting at the very edge of people trying to wrap their head around, something technologically being in the sky that either we don't know about or it's from a different place, but it's much more further advanced. You're going to bring demonology into this as well. I mean, that just muddles everything up. Listen, I'm all for the paranormal. I love that study, but in respect to what we're talking about here, we need to be grounded and stay grounded. Keep these belief systems out of that sort of sphere of perception in this respect. Be more scientific about it.
Yeah. Well, what if you can't?
Well, I mean, give me an example.
Well, what if they are demon-like and they're reptilian-looking creatures that have the ability to do anything they want whenever they want, even read your mind?
Well, then they're actually a threat, Rich.
10-4. That's great.
No, I get what Rich is saying there, though.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
if they are multidimensional, and they just come from some sort of hell type dimension, or like, in that respect, they would be demons.
And congratulations to Mario UFO. I'm very happy for you, my friend. That is awesome. First baby boy.
I said baby girl by accident.
Yeah, don't have another though. I've got two. They just.
I've got two as well. It's enough. Believe me.
Yeah, I spent all of lockdown stopping one from killing the other. That's all I did.
I've got one. I spent lockdown trying to stop me killing it.
Oh. And I've got none. What
happened to the 9 kids? What happened to the 9 kids?
That's only on my show.
Oh, I see. You have.
I don't want to talk about the kids because every time I bring them up, something bad happens.
See, I have a feeling.
And it's 10 kids, by the way. I had 11 ones in college, so now it's 10.
He's in college. He's no longer your kid, so now you get 10.
That's Elijah. Elijah is in college. He's the oldest.
Oh my God! Congratulations, Mario UFO.
6 pounds 11 ounces. That's no pickle.
Rich, I have a feeling that your show tonight is going to be a big one because something will hit.
Nah. Nothing.
Not even the end of your nipple. Nothing.
Nobody's showing up. They're getting everything right here. Why bother going to my show now? There's no reason. What am I going to say? Go watch Alien Attic.
No, what I mean is, I think something's going to drop. Something. Just something that's going to make people that little bit giddy.
You got your prelim. Be happy with that.
You're optimistic, golly. I appreciate that, but you're optimistic.
I just need to have a little bit of faith here.
But why are you saying that?
Because we've waited 180 days.
No, you didn't. Every day from 1 to now, it was an opportunity for them to drop something.
Yes.
This is just the end of it. It doesn't mean there's the whole truckload of stuff coming or a piece of paper in the mail. It's not going to happen. It's not what you think. Everybody's just, and I'll tell you why. It is the mainstream media that blew it up that way. And Lou going off on everybody's podcast, telling everybody, about this report. It's a threat. We got to do this, that, and the other thing. And then Rubio kicking in his 2 cents and Chris Mullen and everybody else. You would think something was going to happen, and Corbell with his crappy videos. Where's that video we thought was going to come out today? Although the day's not over yet.
That is a good question, and I'll kind of jump on that too, because I know Corbell is in our chats. I know Corbell is listening. Hey, listen, we're listening to you too. We're watching you as well, pal. If you promise us something, you say you have something, give it to us, man. Like Ollie opened the show up this way. I know, but in the way of what you promise the public, especially if you're sitting on something and we know that you're sitting on something, come on, just drop it, man. Drop it.
That's the thing. Why are you sitting on it?
That's another thing altogether.
You know why. And I'll say it right here, because it's all about clicks and it's all about me. And I'll say it because I know he's listening. Jeremy Corbell is a compulsive liar, and I'm saying it now. That guy doesn't know the truth if it was given to him on a silver spoon when he came out of the womb. Sorry, the guy lied to me on air. I'll come on your show if you remove the audio from this conversation. I removed the audio. He didn't even reply. He's a liar.
Why did you remove the audio?
Out of courtesy, because I called the guy out of the blue. It was somebody dared me to call, and I didn't think it was going to be Corbell's phone number. So I go, I'm calling it. That was one of the few times I ever went through with that. And he picked up, and instantly I knew it was his voice. I'm like, Jeremy? And he's like, who's this? I'm like, it's Rich Giordano from GUFON. GUFON? And then he goes, I can't talk right now. I'm eating dinner. Yeah, 9:30 at night. He's eating dinner. I'm sure maybe he was, but nonetheless, he stayed on the phone for 7 minutes. I got to go. I can't talk, But then he says, okay, Rich Giordano GUFON. I'm going to remember that crystal clear. But can you do me a favor? If you remove the audio from because I told him we were live, and I didn't want him to start saying something that could be personal while we were on the show. So out of courtesy and knowing Jeremy Corbell knows people, and it could be a very bad thing for me, I'm thinking. So I better tell him, the truth right away. And he said, if you remove the audio, Rich, from this show, I promise you, he says it this way, I promise you I will come on your show and answer all your questions. I said, all right, I'll do that. And I did it, and he didn't. So now I'm going to post the audio back up soon.
Jeremy Corbell is in the chat.
It wasn't my own fault. You lied, man.
Jeremy, you've got my email. By all means, come and join us.
Look, I said I didn't know it was his phone number. It was a dare because my show's fun. It's not boring. And I tried reaching out and seeing I thought it was the guy's phone number that I was calling, and he was going to prank me. I didn't know it was you until you answered. I knew right then and there. And I did remove the audio. You promised you would come on my show, and you didn't. And you ignored my emails. So you're a liar.
Jeremy, go on Richie's show.
No, I don't want him on my show. I don't want a liar on my show.
Do.
No, I'm done with Corbell. I'm done with all of them. I'm just going to keep talking about him. That's all. Put up another shitty video that's a Boca or an airplane. Yeah, good job. You're really showing us all what UFOs are. Great job, Jeremy.
Listen, here's the thing, too, Jeremy. I mentioned this to you before when we were in a chat. We're all in this together, right? I didn't get a reply back from that, but if we have a different mentality than that, man, I think we're going the wrong direction. Let's get together on this, man. Maybe we have opposing opinions, but make yourself available. Come on one of our shows, talk about it, discuss it, give us what we can here. And, if you got to hold something, you hold something. But that being said, get involved with what we're doing here. This isn't just on the fringe of these fields here, man. This is it.
Can't handle the heat, Michael. He can't tell the truth. He has to lie.
I just wish he would come on so he could, you know what I mean?
Why wouldn't he come on? Why wouldn't he? Yeah, let me ask, because why? We only got 5,000 subscribers. Hey, we got a lot of listeners and people watch it. Whatever. He's here now. He knows where to go to get the truth. He knows he's going to hear it here. He knows what he's doing. How could he not? Those videos he posted don't show us anything, guys. Nothing. They don't show us anything. It's an imagination from a guy who wants so badly to be loved by everybody. That's all it is. It's an ego show. I'm sick of it. Everybody's sick of the ego show. And I'm the bad guy. And I'm the bad guy while he's putting up airplanes and Boca shit and other stuff that could be a flare dipping into the water. Oh, it's a transmedium. It isn't. You show us absolutely nothing you claim. Zero, zip, zilch, nada, nothing. Your Jesus hands and your thumbs upward like please listen to me, everybody. I'm Jeremy Corbell. No, you're not. Nobody.
Like Treakin.
You're George Knapp's little puppet. There, I'm done.
I'm done.
No, I'm done.
If we can get the guy on to defend himself.
No. Well, he could have. He had a chance. And now I'm pissed off that he's sitting here saying it's my fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault. You trusted somebody with your phone number. Shouldn't give that out. And I called it. And out of respect to you, which I gave you 100% respect, and I immediately told him, Jeremy, I'm sorry. It was a dare. I didn't know you were going to pick up. And then he's like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, if you remove that, Rich, I'll come on your show. I removed it. You didn't come on the show. You didn't even answer my emails. What does that make you? A liar. And I don't like liars. And if you haven't figured that out, I'm not reading anything he's saying. So I'm looking right at the camera because I'm going to get more upset. That's right. It's called passion because I've been in it 17 years, longer than you, most likely. And I know a liar when I see one. And I'm looking right at one.
I hope you don't mean. Oh, we've got. There you go. Third phase.
And the way he treated from, I don't know what happened on the call, but it was what I was told. It was similar to the way he acted to me. Oh, how could you call me? I don't take phone calls is what he tells me. You email me. I'm like, who doesn't take phone calls? That's what you got the phone for. I called you. And you could have been a man enough to at least come on the show. The reason I'm acting the way I am now, it's a knee-jerk reaction for you being here, number one. And number two, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. You lied, not me. I was 100% truthful to you out of respect. I tried. I put the olive branch out there. I was the one who was the olive branch guy, not you. You lied. You fake branched me. You gave me a false branch. And that's what happened. So don't sit there and tell me it's my fault. I tried to make things right. You tried to be you. And that's what we got, a lie. End of story.
I think.
Boy, it just got quiet.
No, I get Rich. I get your frustrations.
I'm sorry, Ali.
Yeah,
no,
I know. Don't be sorry because I think for like George, Jeremy, whoever's watching this, if anybody else is that is in this field that has an impact in this, we need more transparency. We really do, and it's so frustrating when you've got this passion for this subject.
How can you have transparency when they're lying to you? That's why you don't have transparency, because they're lying. You can't extend the lie any further because it's hard to remember a lie than it is the truth. So you give us a piece of shit video and a piece of shit statement with it, and that's that. It's pretty much scripted.
What? So, okay. I said this on another show to you, though, Rich. If you're given a piece of footage, so Jeremy's given the footage, he puts it out because he's told to put that out.
We don't know that.
Okay.
We don't know because he's not transparent.
So you're given the footage from George Knapp, yeah? Put this
Me?
out, Rich. Yeah. What
if
do you
I
do?
was given the footage, I would come out and say, look, to me, this looks like a flare. To me, this looks like something, but I don't believe it is what I'm being told it is, a transmedium craft, because you don't see it that way. And if you're going to claim there's other video, an extended version with it showing going into water and out of water and all this stuff, let's see it, man. We never see what they claim. Hey, there's a whole fleet of them. Show me. We're not seeing that, are we? We've got radar data from two radars. Where's that? I don't see that either. And then Jeremy drops the radar footage and doesn't even have somebody to explain what we're looking at. Here's a couple of dots. That's the UFOs. Yeah, okay, like I know. Get somebody to show us. No transparency, no UFOs. You can say whatever you want. I mean, am I wrong here? I mean, you guys, I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to speak for you because it's Corbell. Believe me,
no. Listen, Rich. No, I mean it has got a bit heated, but I like a bit of heat. I mean, I live in the UK. I'll take anything.
Come on, he's going to come on here and tell me it's my fault that he didn't come on my show when he promised he would.
Well, I'll send him
an invite. Come on, man. It's just a typical run of the mill for these people.
I'll eat like I think it was last year he emailed me, so I've got the email somewhere. Thank you, Area 503, and thank you, Sean. This is kind of knocked me for six. I didn't expect him to pop into the chat, but I wish that these people, if they've got nothing to hide, when they're putting this footage up, and like you said on your show, Rich, it's kind of building up to that report. You expected Jeremy to drop something today.
I didn't expect anything. I expected to see another video, but I didn't know it today. Other people think it's today.
No, you said on the show that you like, I don't know if it was joking that you thought it was going to drop something today.
Because
like,
that's what I heard. Yeah, because that's what
Yeah.
people were saying. Yeah.
I think these people need to kind of speak to us.
Why? Who are we to them?
Because
we're the anti them. That's why they won't do it. They think we're on a. They think, Ollie, and I don't mean to interrupt, but they think we're against them when we're not. We want to be with them. I want to be on the same team. Damn it! I don't want to have an argument. I want Jeremy to stand by his word. Hey, man, I was nice when I called him. I could have been a total dick and not remove that audio because I didn't have to. But I did it because he said he was going to come on, and I thought that was an olive branch. And it wasn't. Not for him. And that's the type of guy he is, and that's that. I emailed him twice. I didn't just email him once. I emailed him twice just to make sure. I say, look, before I put this audio up on my show, can you come on the second email? Because I'm going to post. I still haven't done that. Now it was 2 weeks ago.
Right. I'm much more interested in the series of events that led up to this, to be perfectly honest. For where we are now, sat in front of like a live stream talking about a report that we hasn't given us what we want or hasn't come out yet. As far as the Corbell thing goes, when you look at it, it was like stages, wasn't it? You had the To the Stars Academy that came out, and then the Tom DeLonge on Rogan, and then Corbell's documentary came out later, which got him on Rogan, which ended up with Lazar there. This thing has mounted slowly. Is this like a series of fortunate events that have given these people a platform to essentially gain personally off it, or is it a series of orchestrated events that have been put there to purposely push a narrative? I think there's definitely someone in the chat that I'd like their opinion on that from Mr. Greer. But are people just, has something spawned organically and people are just grabbing it wherever they can, they're grabbing whatever they can just to benefit from it? Or has this been like a narrative that's been set for all these things to happen? And if so, and nothing comes of it, then that's a shit story. That's a shit end to like a winding narrative that's happened.
This happens all the time in ufology. That's why I expect nothing.
Yeah, but not so out there, not so out there in the mainstream.
No. But think about it, Lee. We still don't have anything that propels us into the next level. All we have is more discussion about it. I don't have time. I mean, if they think they're going to get the general public on board, they're wrong. Because I talk to the public and they think, are we going to war with aliens? I mean, that's what people think is going to happen. They hear threat, don't know what it is, UFOs.
But that's
and they
it.
put it together in their head.
Thinking that, though, but if they're thinking that, that means that the situation has been designed to make people think that.
Right, which is shitty.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'm more interested in that now. Like, I'm more interested in the conspiracy that's led to this than I am actually in like what could come out of it.
Well, a lot of this has to do with ego too.
Yeah,
it has a lot to do with ego.
Let's say it's not ego, and I've taken that out of the equation. So let's say, Jeremy, it has nothing to do with ego. He's given these videos that apparently he's been sitting on and waiting for approval, which makes no sense. I mean, that's what we heard. I heard Knapp say it on his show. We have to wait till we get authorization before we can. I've had this video for 2 years in my hands and there's nothing I can do. And why would they give him video evidence and I mean, they trust Knapp that much. They're going to give him the evidence before he can show the evidence. Come on, it doesn't work like that. I don't know. What do I know, right? I'm not in the military.
Well,
I'm
what I
not
meant in
in
the
the
way of
government.
ego, what I meant in the way of ego is
Yeah,
not necessarily
well,
the individual, but
Mhm.
you know, let's take an organization like MUFON or you know any of these other that sort of mirror that same effort. What's more important to these groups? Being the first to bring out something new, to be on top, to be ahead, the very first one in the race, or to just get this stuff out here and allow people to understand what we're experiencing. I mean, one is a much different path than the other. And I think, unfortunately, the former is what a lot of these organizations follow. I mean, we see it in the paranormal world as well. They just want to get those ratings. They want to get on top. And you've mentioned clicks, you've mentioned views. Yes, that's all part of it. But there's no reason to sit on anything that was given to you that could benefit the collective at large. There is no reason to do that.
Right. Now, I'm just saying, because that's just all rumors that, I mean, except for the Knapp one, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming if he's holding he's holding the others, if he does have anything else. But if you take the ego out of it, okay, and let's just say they're putting it out, but they're putting it out as a threat. Why? You have to think why. Because they won't get funding for whatever it is they need funding for by the government if there's no reason to give them money. If there's no threat, then what are we going to give you money to study for if it's no threat? You can do fine with $5 million over 10 years, you know? So there has to be a threat for them to get what they want from the government. And unfortunately,
is there not enough threats though? Is there not? But is there not enough threats in the world between China and Russia, or for us to invent enough things to put into military spending? I don't think we have to bring UFOs into it just to get extra. Or to convince the US to spend more on military.
Different funding, different interest entirely. There's things that are more topical, more superficial, right out in the open on the table, and there are things underneath the table that are getting these fundings. So, while I don't think that this is a call for funding in a very general way, I think that there's an element of that there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not directly saying we need funding. You
Correct.
Can't do that. You have to prove
Correct.
Something is a threat, and they're saying that the videos they're showing us show that that's a threat. And I don't see that at all. Absolutely. I see less of a threat, to be honest with you. So it's just a weird narrative. It's very strange to me that if you put the videos up with the narrative, it doesn't help each other. I don't see how. An object around black things that we don't know what it is, could be a flare, most likely is a couple miles away, and goes into the water, and they're saying splashdown, but to me it looks like something else. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows. It's all speculation for us. I don't know. Does Jeremy know? Does George Knapp? Does Lou? What do they know? Do they really?
Absolutely not.
Do they really know? Okay, so where are we at now? We're waiting for this supposed data dump of UFO evidence that, frankly, I don't think it's going to happen. They had 179 days before today. And so Lou said it's not enough time.
Let's look at this in a different way, too. What is this actually doing for people? Okay, we've been talking about this for 180 days. It's officially on the back of a relief bill. The writing's up there on the wall now for anybody to read and look at. So at the very least, and we've been talking about this not at length, but definitely mentioning that this at least raises people's awareness about this phenomenon and maybe even piques interest. Unfortunately, you're going to get some of that fear narrative in as well, but that's why we're talking the way that we're talking, to sort of even that playing field out and give people the other side, if you want to look at it in a polarized sense, of this story at large. So, I mean, I do think that there's something good that will come out of this whole thing, even though it's not, again, what people expected.
Yeah. Good point.
Welcome, Blake and Brent.
What's up, Blake?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up,
What's up, Brent? I see him back there now.
How's it going, buddy?
I see him back there.
It's a big day today, right?
Huge day.
The big show's right here. Let me tell you, this is more exciting than what we saw in the official report just released. It's
This is the most drama I've had since I used to watch Coronation Street when I was a youngster.
pass off the links to Dr. Greer and Corbell. Let's get them all in right now in the chat. That'd be awesome.
I emailed Corbell. I've passed him the link. I don't have.
I'm gonna email Greer and tell him jump on.
Yeah, he's of course he's welcome.
Yeah, it's good to see Dr. Greer in the house talking. Obviously, he's calling Corbell a liar. I think Rich is calling him a liar. Look, Jeremy, the way he just came on the chat and just started poking fun and calling little names, that kind of gives a little bit of his character. You know what I mean? It kind of
everybody knows my character.
Yeah,
I don't hide it.
What's crazy is that over the past few months, everybody's been revealing their true colors, and that's kind of cool. We know where everybody stands in this field, and it's unfortunate that a lot of these people are revealing their true nature and their narrative of what they're trying to accomplish. So it's kind of cool. We're able to see behind the curtain now of who's on what side or not, and now it's like, okay, good. Now we know where everybody stands. So I think this is a good position where everybody's in right now, and it's kind of like we don't have to have any of these guessing games anymore about where people's thought process is.
I want to give Rich a big thumbs up the way he handled Corbell, the way he jumped on the chat, and this way you handled yourself. I totally respect how you approached it. It's just the only way to do it. He said he was going to call you back, and he promised he was going to call you back.
Promised me. I have it on. I have proof that he promised. Anyway,
he said the same thing to me. He said he'd get back to me. He promised he'd get back to me when we invited him on to have a discussion with Dr. Greer, along with Nick Pope, Luis Elizondo, and all these other guys. And Dr. Greer asked him to come on the Third Phase Moon platform. We did it, and we got these responses. And Jeremy was real hostile, and he said he would get back to me if I emailed him. So I did. It was a private conversation, but it's kind of the same hostile response, which is bizarre. We're just adults here trying to have a communication and have a simple discussion. A lot of people just don't want to show up. They rather just call out people and call them names, crybabies, bullies. I don't negotiate with terrorists. All this weird language. All it is just a simple discussion. Let's clear some things up here.
Yeah,
boys, Mike
doing that. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. My question to you, and Brent, do you think these guys are actually in this, deep into this, as in they're being paid to say certain things, or do you think that they are just on a different side to what we are in the way that we think about ufology? Do you think it's that we possibly could come together and actually work together and actually bring something forward as a team, or do you think that these guys are? You just can't touch them. If that makes sense.
Well, it kind of does. The big question is, what is their agenda, and who's paying? Luis Elizondo. He talks to just about anybody all day long, and it's just weird. It's does he have a job, or is he just doing this out of passion, or is he being paid to talk to everybody instead of big channels like Third Phase of Moon? It's kind of interesting. I see Corbell's here. Corbell, let's just talk a little bit. Clear some things up. Corbell, why are you just trickling down this information in little breadcrumbs? That's one of the big pet peeves for everybody in this field, that we get this in little breadcrumbs. Why not just dump all the files that you got, these videos, instead of editing them, giving us a little still of fuzzy wuzzy pictures, and then later releasing little clips? Is there somebody telling you can't release certain parts? Who's in control here? And why this trickle down video? It seems like there is some kind of chess game going on, or not even a chess game. It seems like there's a script. It's already been written, and these are the tactics for mainstream to get the major media involved and give this threat narrative in little tidbits. I don't know, at Third Phase Moon, we get footage and we put it out as fast as possible. That's our expertise here. And I don't know why you sit on stuff. We don't sit on anything. If we sit on stuff, we'd get piled with too much information. I don't know about you, Jeremy. I just, when you get this stuff, just put it out. Contact Third Phase Moon. We'll share your videos. That's what the whole thing is. We should all come together and work this out on the exact same brainwave, not like this fractured community, which it has become in a way that I've never seen anything like it. I think Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge and the TTSA single-handedly destroyed the whole community. Everybody was kind of in this one circle. These guys came in and just like, put a wrench in the wheel, and everything just went crazy. And there's a lot of fractured. Go ahead.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, Blake, but I want to hear, because I always ask you questions, and just to see if I'm happy with the way I'm thinking of things. What was it? Why has it fractured the community, though? What did they do so wrong?
Well, I think we watched Unidentified. That was a good start. That TV series was awful.
Forgot about that.
It's a constant threat. It really explains itself. Look at what Unidentified was all about. That was awful stuff, and they were just blaming it on China and Russia. Hey, good to see you, Jeremy. I'm glad you're in the chat. Appreciate it. Jeremy, can you?
I've emailed him, Brett. I've sent him. I have Brent Blake. I've sent him the link.
Good.
Okay, so he said I can call him now. All right.
I don't think it was so fractured until Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge and TTSA came into the picture. Even Greer was all associated with everybody that he just called out recently. They used to go to these, Contact in the Desert. They're doing documentaries together. Everybody, one big happy family, one agenda to get to the truth. But over the past year, since Lou's been out and, the major media is not talking to anybody else except, the major players, he got a little frustrated, and for some reason, they don't even want to communicate with the guy. Greer's statements have been pretty solid over the past 20, 30 years. He hasn't changed at all. He hasn't brought up anything new, but for some reason, all of a sudden, Greer disagrees with what's going on in major media, and then they just jump ship from Greer's boat. Doesn't make any sense. And I think for some reason it got fractured between how Lou's come out. Let's see, Rich has my number, and so does Rich.
How do we know that's Corbell? Is that really him?
It's Jeremy. It's Jeremy. There's no doubt about that. It's Jeremy.
I would have said the same thing, just so in case he did watch it.
By all means, Rich, send in the link. It'd be great to get him in and just have that conversation, an open conversation like adults.
He needs a week to prepare.
Send the link, Rich. Send the link. Jeremy, I've emailed you. You emailed me a year ago. I've emailed you back. I did email him back. I emailed him back a year ago, but he never got back to me. Yeah, by all means, I think we need to discuss it like adults. I mean,
yes.
I don't know.
I don't know what Greer thinks of Jeremy. Whether Greer is on the same level as what he said about Tom DeLonge when he was on Secure Team 10. He said he thought Tom DeLonge was being used. I imagine Stephen may say that about Jeremy. I don't know. As Stephen said, anything about Jeremy to you guys?
Well, yeah, we speak with Stephen Greer quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. Things are happening. And, I'm not going to get into personal things that Greer tells us and his opinions of other people. That's not our shtick here at Third Phase Moon. We're just kind of, we just gather information from the public and we put it out as fast as possible. And we bring in different viewpoints from, all these talking heads. We don't, we've had Jeremy Corbell on the show Third Phase Moon. I don't know, 10 years ago. We promoted his film, The Bob Lazar Story.
We crushed it.
I
think we got up to 1 million views on just helping him out with his documentary, and then we give him a call when he attacks us and starts to yell obscenities about Dr. Greer and everything else. It just felt pretty unprofessional on his part when we're just making a phone call.
We just want to invite Jeremy Corbell on platform, have a discussion like grown men with Dr. Greer. Hey, that invitation is still open, and we've helped Jeremy Corbell out. So when we called them up and we told him, hey, it's Third Phase Moon, and the response, we're all in this together. We thought his documentary with Bob Lazar is an interesting, figure in this field. So it wasn't a problem promoting and getting the word out on that. So Jeremy, if you're listening, hey, I don't know, maybe you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day. You got a lot of stress. You're in the news all the time, I guess. I don't know what's going on, but people need to chill out, man. What's the deal?
We heard Jeremy was doing some things a decade ago, trying to kind of set.
Okay, all right, let's go easy on this stuff.
All right.
Yeah. there's some certain details that we don't need to spread out in the public. You know, there's a lot of
I
stuff
respect
going
that.
on behind the scenes, and I just, you know, it could get messy, and it doesn't need to get messy. The drama behind all this stuff is a waste of time. You know, there's other things that we need to worry about, but unfortunately, the drama is just like everybody's tripping over it, and that's what's nobody's keeping their eye on the ball, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to get people's information. Let's hear where their heads are at. Let's get this thing on the road. I can say this: I'm disappointed because just yesterday we found out Richard Dolan is done with the. You know, we're going to have this debate. We're going to have this, you know, discussion with Richard Dolan coming up on July 3rd. And unfortunately, there's something that came up. We don't know what came up, but Dolan said the event is off. So it's unfortunate. It could have been a meeting of the minds. Something was going to happen. The third phase moon, we're ready. We're always ready. We're prepared. We're ready to talk to anybody. It's no big deal.
Why are people scared to get on your platform, man, just to talk? I don't get it. I don't know,
it's
man.
It's a big following. We got a big following. They make one mistake. You know, it could be interesting. That's, you know, on a small channel, they can make mistakes all they want. They come on a big channel, you got tens of thousands, 100,000 people watching this stuff. They can't afford to make any mistakes here. And that's what I think their concern is. And I was looking forward to have some, you know, we're going to have some discussions with Dolan. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe we would have agreed on everything. I'm not exactly sure, but something or someone, in my opinion, may have got into his head. We don't know.
I was just about to ask that.
Oh, I didn't think
I don't know. We're speculating here. All we know is Dolan called it off, and there's some kind of, you know, the dates didn't match up. But hey, he put up a video saying that he was going to come on the show. So I don't know. Something
wasn't it
happened.
his idea though?
Yeah, you know, we were approached by Darcy and Dolan to come on this, you know, this live thing. So it wasn't our idea to reach out to Dolan, but Dolan agreed from somebody that was producing behind the scenes to come on the show. So that was kind of cool. Someone reached out to Dolan, as what Dr. Stephen Greer says. Yeah, you know, that's my speculation. Obviously, the debate's not happening, and you know, we're ready. We're, like I said, we're always ready. So what is there? You know, it's very weird. It's weird what's going on here. Can't we just talk, guys? Everybody, it's no big deal. Yeah. Wow.
Lee, as somebody on the kind of outskirts, like a fly on the wall of ufology, what do you make about the different sides that are going on here? Like,
it's strange, isn't it? Because it's so fractured. I can understand. I can understand why Corbell wouldn't want to come on right now. I get why. But when you've got people like that, which are in such controlled situations, I understand why they don't want to go on third phase, because it seems that they have to play a part in this narrative, and I don't think third phase are part of that. You know, it's the fact that you're such a massive channel as well. You know, that makes it equally more dangerous to sort of vary from the path. And like I was saying before, that's even just reading the chat here is when you've got someone like Corbell, which has been such a massive part of this story, and then you've got what realistically, when you look up and down the chat, it's people that are in these boards, which are the bread and butter for what will be his career. These are the people that are watching his documentaries and listening to the podcasts he goes on. But there's such a clear distrust of that man, and maybe discourse with Stephen Gray would help some of that and sort of put pay to it, but I don't think it would do. I don't think this, whatever this sort of thing is of like UFOs being classified as UAPs, and then it's all leading up to this report. There's a clear plan in place, and I'm fucking confused if I can understand what it is.
Well, I can tell you when we have people invite guests to come out to third phase of the moon, we kind of just give them a call and we say, this is a time. We don't vent them out. We don't tell them these are the questions that we're going to ask. When Elizondo goes on pretty much any podcast, what you're going to see is we hear through the grapevine, is you're going to be talking with them for about an hour and a half before the presentation happens or radio show. They're going to brief them on what they can and cannot ask. And if you're doing that in this field, that's already kind of a red flag in itself. It shouldn't be prep. It should just be a dialogue, and any questions should be asked.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw this in real quick and I'll let you go, Lee. That's exactly the problem. If there is a narrative being ushered there, and if you want to come on one of our channels, we're looking for the truth. We're not going to ask you those questions wherein you can sit inside a safe margin and know that this is what's going to be discussed. We're not going to stray outside that box. The whole point in understanding, and come back to your original intention, all of you out there who are doing this at large, what is your intention in being involved in this field? Is it for the betterment of humanity at large? Is it for your own personal vindications? Is it somewhere in between? I think some of these guys have to go back to their initial reason for getting into this field and looking at it intellectually the way that we are. Revisit themselves, man, because I think a lot of this division starts with the individuals and the narrative that they're supporting. Again, if you come on one of our shows, you come on Third Phase of Moon, yes, you can have an opposing opinion. That's okay. We're not in grade school where we're going to get into a fist fight over it. We're going to be adults and we're going to talk about it, or we're going to put things on the table and we're going to say, okay, maybe I didn't consider this, or maybe you had a different vantage point. Let's have that discussion. I don't see the challenge to run away from that sort of debate. It doesn't have to be something verbally violent in a sense. We can agree to disagree if that's what it comes to, but we're still intellectually moving up that ladder. Sorry, Lee, go ahead.
It's okay. I can't what I was going to say now. Anyway,
I apologize, man. I'm sorry. I had to get that out real quick.
Good.
The thing is, we all interrupt each other on this subject, and there's a reason why. Because it is so out there that we all have different opinions on this, but it's okay to have opinions, but when there's an agenda involved and people have different agendas, that's when it's dangerous. So
I would like to hope.
Sorry,
I'd like to hope that, because you were saying before, DarkHour, that it's an ego thing, and that's kind of the best. That's the best scenario of it, because if Jeremy's done excellent as far as he's been on Joe Rogan, then that's given the step to just do all these like major media platforms like CNN and stuff like that.
Sorry, Lee, I'm just waiting for Joe Rogan to pop in the chat.
Yeah, he's the only one missing. So,
Hey,
like if
Jeremy,
it is an ego, if it is an ego thing where it's just like, right, well, I've hit that level now, so I'm not doing anything that isn't that. I can get that, but I don't believe it's just an ego thing. It would be too good for an ego, wouldn't it, to come on the smaller shows and have all the like a proper community sort of lapping up every word you say. So that's just why I've slowly not trusting any of it, and that makes me trust Joe Rogan slightly less. I don't like not trusting Joe Rogan. I love Rogan.
Well, let me just say this: Jeremy Corbell agreed to come on my show later.
Well, that's great.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's my
Jeremy. Attaboy.
Yes, that's my morning sorted.
If that's
Get
really
on there
him.
and talk.
It is him, Rich. You just click on him. Click on the.
I don't click. All right, if it's him, it's him.
I'm not giving him the click.
If he really is coming on, then that's 7 p.m. Pacific, his time, 10 mine. So I will.
Can you do me a favor, Rich?
I
want one question. My question that I want you to ask Jeremy, and this is what if this would be the main question if I had him on my show. What I would ask him is, how does he get his beard to look that good?
Why? Come on, man. This is a waste.
We're
of
not here
time.
for pleasantries. We're not here for pleasantries this time. Maybe we'll get there next time, but
No,
right now
it'll
we're
be
getting to the
nice.
core.
It'll
It'll
be
be a fun
nice.
time, but we got some work to do here.
Look,
Absolutely.
I think it would be a nice conversation. It would be a discussion that I am willing to have. And I don't want to be a dick. I don't like it. I don't like being that way. But when somebody says something, stand up to it and do it. So it'll be interesting. And if he does come on tonight, that'll be that says a lot to me anyway. Not that it should matter to him anyway, like he doesn't, but I mean, I wouldn't care if somebody liked me or not, or hated me, but But it is interesting if he does come on. It is going to be interesting. Because
But wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Well, it would
you're
be nice
fine.
because maybe he would open the door for other people to say, okay, it's okay to step through this door. Maybe that's what's going to
It
come of
always
this. Maybe
is.
he'll come on Third Phase of Moon later. I mean, yeah, again.
Not
you
one
know.
guest has ever left my show unhappy, ever.
I
They
can
always-
say this: we
You
had
have,
Jeremy
Michael?
Corbell. We had Jeremy
Me?
Corbell on
Me?
Third
No.
Phase of Moon.
Sorry.
We had Jeremy Corbell on Third Phase of Moon 10 years ago, and I think it was one of the least watched episodes on Third Phase of Moon ever. So, Jeremy, it's all about your evidence that you're bringing forward. I don't really care about Jeremy Corbell. I just care about, how's he getting this evidence?
Yeah.
How is he obtaining it? Where's the rest of the footage? And what else do you got? That's about it. What's that?
And why don't you drop it?
And why don't you just drop it all at once? Jeremy, whatever, he makes these documentaries, love them or hate them. I don't care about any of that stuff. It's this footage that he's obtaining. How is he obtaining it? Why isn't it being just released all at once? These are the questions that I have for Jeremy.
I'll ask him.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very, very appropriate and responsible questions that we need answered from this
We need
individual.
answer. Yep.
Yep.
What else do you got, Jeremy? What else are you holding close to the breast here? You know what I mean? It's like, well, why the trickle down? Why do you show us stills of a video image and then 2 weeks later release the video image? Why tease us? Is it a strategic move to try and get as many eyeballs on the story as possible? And this is the kind of techniques you got to get through to the major media, and you got to play by these little trickle down steps? Well, if that's the case, we'll just admit it, and then maybe we could understand. These are techniques on how we get it, the big eyes on it, and we stretch it out. This is a publication technique in the major media. Well, at least admit it if that's what you're doing. But I'm not sure if that's what's really going on. And I don't know. I'm just curious on how you receive those videos. We receive videos on a daily basis. It's pretty cool. We just did a report out of Shanghai, China, with the correspondent out there, Burbex, and on the ground we have correspondents everywhere. Everybody's doing on the ground reports that work with the Third Phase Moon panel. And hey, Jeremy, if you want to participate in something bigger than all of us, maybe you can share some evidence and we'll put it out there. That's what our platform's for, is to get it out as fast as possible. It's real simple.
But isn't George Knapp, doesn't he have a contact at the Pentagon that's getting these videos and evidence for Corbell?
Yeah, I heard that.
That's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Let's find out.
And that's
We don't
okay.
have
I mean,
specific answer for that.
Right.
That's a great question as well. Is George Knapp the middleman between the Pentagon, and why are they giving it to a journalist that's some kind of a news anchor in Las Vegas? Why give it to even George Knapp?
Yeah.
What made him, what makes him the go-to guy? Is there a reason? I guess he's been in it for a while, but I don't think he shared as much evidence from the public as much as we have at Third Phase of Moon. I think what we put out,
His
every
name's
week
been
on
there,
Third
hasn't
Phase
it?
of Moon, we've got his archive beat.
His name's been there for such a long time, though, isn't it? It's people that aren't totally into the subject know who George Knapp is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he can keep his mouth, shut. He doesn't talk about his sources, so he got some sort of trust maybe with them that way.
Could it be coming in from Bigelow, for all we know?
But we'll never know.
Well,
I think there's definitely a link there, Blake, with Bigelow. Definitely, 100%.
I think so.
There's something going on. We're pretty much, I think, what's going on within the circle involved with the major media. There's a lot of leaks coming out from on that side. I guess people want us to know the information of what's really going on behind the scenes in regards to this narrative that's being put forth on the major media. And again, we're not going to get into the details on that. I think that just muddies the waters. But we're kind of we realize there's something going on, and it's controlled. People are in charge, and again, it seems it's like there's a big script going on. It's already written. And man, what about this 9-page report? Anybody get to read any of that? We just went over it real quick.
That's all we did. We skimmed through it.
Yeah. Not much going on over there, is there?
Isn't it? It's just the press releases and stuff like that. That's it. From 2005 till present, press releases of who is director of this or who's been fired, and it's nothing. I didn't see anything that said UAP in it.
We talked to Michael Schratt last night, and he knows pretty much for a fact we have these videos in clear, broad daylight, close, black and white glossies, and why don't they're just not going to give it up. They're not going to give it up. That's why it's up to us to get it out there. It's up to us. It's some, if they're extraterrestrial in nature, they didn't make an agreement with anybody. They could reveal themselves anytime they want. As far as this, what's that?
I was going to say, let me throw this question out there. If we're not seeing it from the government, we don't see it from the public either. So maybe there isn't anything to show us. Is that possible?
Hey, it is possible. Maybe this Tic Tac doesn't even exist, right, Brett?
Yeah, we're kind of talking about that. The government doesn't investigate faith or religion. And this is kind of...
You want to get in closer?
It's hard to hear, yeah.
Yeah, come on. Can you both get next to each other? It'd be nice to have you both on at the same time.
Well, it's kind of been like the military doesn't investigate faith-based religion. That's pretty much off the topic. You're not going to see declassified papers of what happened with Jesus 2,000 years ago. Now, when we're talking about UFOs, people do think it could be like a faith-based religion where you're believing in this aspect of the unknown, that we're not alone. And it still hasn't been proven yet. But now the government's researching it, and they've been doing it for who knows how long, 70 years. So there's something to it which makes it more tangible than faith-based religion. So it's pretty cool that it delved that deep into it. But the biggest thing about Countdown to Disclosure and what happened today is probably that they named it 180 Days to Countdown to Disclosure. Just helping the documentary that we put out has more information than what just dropped today in on this 9-page report. It's pretty sad.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's going to be something to follow this, though? Because like we said at the beginning of the show, this is kind of like the pre-report. Is something going to drop in the next couple of hours?
Well, Jeremy says he has more videos. If Jeremy's still in the chat, when's that going to drop? Let's ask that question.
He's still in the chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a very good question.
Let's see it.
Yeah, we're all waiting. Yep,
But he
we're all
can't
waiting.
tell. Can he tell us, or
Why couldn't he tell us when he would put it out?
Give us a
You
date.
know, unless
Give us
it-
a time. We'll all be there.
Unless it
Yeah,
interfered with his agenda. Again, it comes back to I don't understand why these things can't be put out the moment that. Listen, it's as simple as this. And yes, this is sort of left field, but it does make sense if you look at it in certain ways here. There's a universal law that sort of says, hey, listen, if you come into information that will positively affect people at large, it's your responsibility to disseminate this information, not looking for anything coming back to you. Of course, energetically, things do come back to you, but you can't withhold stuff for a personal agenda or monetary gain or anything like this. I mean, again, I'm kind of beating a dead horse in saying this, but I apparently feel like I have to keep reiterating this particular concept that this is for the masses. This is for all of us. You see something in the sky, you don't own it. You might have filmed it, you own the footage, but you don't own the event that's happening here. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
well, the government does it that way?
Yes, they do. They certainly do.
Actually, we
It's
don't. I personally.
Would we
Yeah,
trust the thing is now though? Would we actually trust any footage?
No.
Any footage, no matter how good it was, no matter how clear it was, no matter how much you looked at it and thought that can't be fake, would we 100% trust it? I honestly don't think we would.
It depends on how good it looks. I think we could
Depends
all
on
kind
the
of make
source.
an assessment. Yep. If
No,
we
I
see
think
something that's too good to be true, which we always see all the time, and then obviously it's 100% CGI. But if it's coming in from the government, you could tell if it's CGI. If it's done correctly with the camera movements, just the way it moves, special effects can't reproduce this. We'll be convinced. We just need that smoking gun video, or give us some evidence of some medals or whatever you guys got.
Brent, I
Yeah,
would
I wouldn't
agree
mind.
with you there. One second, DarkHour. I
Mhm.
would agree with you there, but when you look at things like now, like deep fake, when people are actually being able
You
to
can
put
still
a fake,
tell.
Mhm.
you can,
still
yes. Give it 5 years.
Yeah.
Give it some military funding as well, right?
So
Immediately.
yeah. So when it
You know.
comes to the military, if there is people, I always hear people talking about Project Bluebeam or the fake alien invasion. And you mentioned last night about that's already happened, Rich,
Mhm.
or it's already happened. Okay. What if there's that kind of there's that CGI technology that is being withheld, that they can make something look that good on some FLIR footage or whatever, that they can release something, and we the general public will look at it and go, that's the one, that's the smoking gun. But that in reality is just something that's been made. We, as far as we know, and you guys, you've been in the, you know what you're doing with cameras, this, that, and the other, and you know how to spot a fake. We all kind of know how to spot a fake when we see it on YouTube, but do we know how to spot a government, like bigger than the government fake? You know, that kind of fake, that technology that we just don't see as general public.
I don't think
We-
you would, because I would put money on it that you've already seen fakes on the news, and when leaders have been put in certain places where they didn't want to
Carefully.
go or couldn't go. Where they didn't want to go or couldn't go. I guarantee you've watched stuff on the news that you've thought was there and isn't there. So I think it's already possible to fool people in that way. I've said all along that from if there was any sort of government disclosure, everything would turn its head, and we would be doing these live streams talking about how we don't believe the UFO footage, and every mainstream guy out there that's like doing a normal job, that's usually watching like Dancing with the Stars on a Saturday night, they would be believing aliens are coming to get them, and the whole thing would switch on its head, and the conspiracy theorists would be the guys that didn't believe it anymore.
And this is what's happening, Lee. The conspiracy guys, you know, the guys that have been doing this.
It's truth seeking, isn't it? They're like it's questioning things, and that's what anyone that's interested in any of these type of subjects, that's all we do, is question things. So when something comes along, it's going to promise you the world, you're going to question it.
If this had have happened 5 years ago, I'd have probably been like trying to teach my parents about ufology and trying to, even though I'm not a ufologist myself, I always say that, but I would be trying to say, look, something's going to hit, so and it's going to be big. You need to be aware of it. You know, but I'm not even bothered, because I don't trust any of it.
If this
I've
had happened
lost
5
all
years
faith.
ago, I'd have been rolling my sleeves up and slamming it directly into my veins if it had happened 5 years ago.
Do you have faith in this, Brent? Do you think that we're ever going to see anything, or do you think it's just going to be the public that'll bring it?
Oh, I think we're going to find out in our lifetime that we've been visited. Let's just hope. Come on. That's what we're here on this planet for. I have faith that what we're receiving at third phase of moon, and how powerful it is with the information coming in all the time, that we've got things on our channel that nobody could explain what the technology behind it is. The meta propulsion. Is it going to be something that we're going to be able to pick up tangibly, where we're going to be able to get into vehicles such as this? Kind of tic-tac? We'll see. But I do think it probably will be trickled down, and I think they are reverse engineering alien tech, and we're going to be seeing it in our lifetime, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I do have a confidence that we're going to get an answer one way or another in our lifetime. Hopefully in the next, it's not going to happen today, that's for sure. And that's a big letdown.
But would you guys trust it? Would you guys trust it if it came from up high?
If it came out and if we saw video that pretty much can't explain what we're looking at, if, let's just say, if the government has its own Hollywood tech company inside its own military service and they have this software that they could create CGI better than Hollywood can, then maybe it could convince us and we could get tricked on it. But we haven't seen that come out from the government yet, where there's this kind of high-tech movie cinema technology that's better than what we're seeing in Hollywood. I think Hollywood's pretty much they're top of their game. And I don't think our government will be able to replicate that and convince us that this was actual real video, but instead it was something that they created. I don't think so, but that's a possibility. They could be making their own movies in-house in the military with technology that could leave Hollywood 100 years in the past of what's going on.
One of the smoking guns for me is the children, the South African children. You've seen that they were in. I mean, it's been out for years, and you've seen that in the phenomena. I can't say that word, but they were featured in that. That to me is one of the smoking guns, because children do not lie. They do when they want sweets. Or they want a lollipop or whatever, and they say, no, I've not had a lollipop today. Well, you have, because your mum just told me you had. But those children, when they were talking about that, they didn't, they looked like they were just telling. They were just telling what they did at school.
They experienced something.
And still to this day, when you look in them now growing up, that to me, that's a smoking gun. That really is, because
I wish they had a camcorder over there and was filming it. I think we would have saw something that would have kind of maybe answered this question a long time ago. Somebody had a good camera, started snapping some pictures. That's unfortunate. There's a lot of these great cases with people and testimony that you truly believe it. If they just had a camera that day. We're talking to somebody again where they're just, they had the Oz factor. They're seeing this large craft go over Nevada, and he says he did have a camera on him. And if he got it, he would have had the smoking gun. But we hear that story all the time. Unfortunately, we're not having that crystal clear proof that just it's definitive. This is it. They're here.
Why do you think?
Go ahead.
What the hell is that noise?
What is that?
It's one of these. You got one?
Let me see.
Say hello.
Oh yeah, awesome.
She's a cutie. She snorts. She's like a motorcycle going by. Really.
I thought someone not eating today or something. Stomach was
Well,
going.
it's stomach. Yeah.
I can't believe we're trying to tempt Jeremy Corbell on with puppies now. Have we got that far?
Did Jeremy ever answer that question in the chat when he's going to be dropping the video? I didn't see. I can't read the chat.
He said he was checking. He said he was checking about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Hey, all right. This is good. This is even though it's not a direct conversation, we're getting some communication here. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's kind of funny. I think about it this way. We're really in the most archaic of times when it comes to this field. By and large, 30, 40, 50 years from now, we might be talking about UFO sightings as something passe, in the respect that it's now a natural thing that you tell your children about. They tell their children about, it's as natural as the sun in the sky. Maybe we don't still have answers at that point where they come from or whether we're involved technologically, but this is where it's going. It's progressive. So if everyone's along for the ride, which of course they're integral to this process, eventually we're going to either have to know what they know, or we're going to be dropped on a lower tier, wherein it'd be very recognizable the role that we might play at that point, whether it be some sort of emotional, mental manipulation, physical manipulation, the way of slavery. These lines are moving apart, and eventually we're either going to have to gravitate towards one end of the spectrum or the other, because it's dividing. The duality is sitting very, very steadily in between those two outcomes. But those are really the two outcomes that we could look at by and large. We join those who have this information and know what's going on into this new paradigm shift, or we're left behind, perhaps intentionally.
No, it's kind of refreshing. It's good that even, there was some passion going on in this, discussion tonight. We might have been able to break some walls down, it sounds like. Jeremy's already agreed to come on GUFON show. That's great. He's notifying us that there's some videos that he's looking over it right now. So there's a communication that has happened within the past hour and a half. As of right now, we're going into the future possibly here of breaking down these walls and barriers that have been built up, because we're all kind of disappointed what's coming out. Obviously, in today's report, there's nothing there. So now it all falls upon back to us again, which we all knew was going to happen. So, that's cool. Jeremy's is good. We got to all communicate our evidence, our information, and try and get it out as fast as possible and not sit on this and try and wring it out. We're moving fast, and we got to keep moving in the right direction and just pound that information out to the public. Let's not sit on this stuff. Let's work together. We got something. Let's all get together and put it out there as fast as possible on all platforms. That this is how it needs to be done. Instead of fractured platforms, we need just a bunch of platforms in one direction instead of a bunch of fractured platforms that's inoperable.
But Blake, even if we get everybody thinking, do you actually think that we can make a difference?
100%, obviously. If we didn't put out Countdown to Disclosure, if Dr. Greer didn't drop what he said about a month and a half ago, if we haven't been talking about this on our platform, on GUFON's platform, in regards to, this other agenda that's been put forth on the major media, if we didn't bring any of this stuff up, everybody would have been hoodwinked. Everybody would have fell for it. There would have been no opposition voice, except the opposition voice that we put forward to millions of people over the past few months and hundreds of thousands of people who's watched Countdown to Disclosure. So if we didn't put this out, everybody, like I said, would have fell for it. There was no really opposing side. Everybody is going for the Lou Elizondo narrative, the Nick Pope narrative, whatever Jeremy's narrative is. Maybe we could figure this out here in the next day or so. So it's good, but like I said, it can make a big difference if we keep putting out this information, especially as a collaborative of power. Imagine all these voices in one narrative. We got Greer, you got Jeremy Corbell, you got Dolan, you got Lou, all on the same page. Instead of this in-house fighting, who cares about all this drama? What are we really trying to do here?
Attention. Exactly. Very well said, Blake.
I'll tell you what we was trying to do. We was trying to figure out what had dropped. But we've just gone out on a tangent, but it's been more fun than the drop, because there has been no drop. As far as I know, I did say to people in the chat, I said, everybody spam, it's dropped, if anything actually does drop. But it looks like Rich was right, and we are only going to get the
Preliminary.
Thank you. Report.
Ollie, the abbreviation's prelim. Just go prelim.
Prelim report.
Prelim. Hey, didn't 2 months ago the CIA drop everything they had on UFOs, and the report was this thick, and there's just a plethora of information in there. There's a lot more in those reports than what we got today, 1,000% more. And nobody really cares, it seems to me as well. Nobody cares about these reports, these redacted documents. That's the frustration. Give us the clear evidence. Let's get the old, print, the Polaroid or whatever black and white photos. We could date it from 1947. We could do tests on these photos to prove that they're authentic, crystal clear footage of these things. No manipulation of CGI, no Hollywood effects. Give it to us. They got it. They've been filming these things for decades now. And they're going to give us 9 pages.
That's terrible.
Well,
That's
it's
what
9
it's
pages, but there's a lot of subtopics in there and different things. So it's a lot. It's not a little. There's a lot of stuff in there, actually.
In the 9 pages, or is there
9
extra?
pages, but in each page, there's many different things you could look at, different subjects.
And is there anything that's tickling your itch? Is there anything in there?
I haven't had
There's
time.
no JPEGs or
I haven't had
there's no
time.
photographs or videos
No.
attached to this? There's no. So It's
Yeah, I
all-
haven't seen any evidence either like
there's
that.
nothing. We would have got it already.
It's
I
just
guess
a
we gotta wait,
timeline
because
of press
Jeremy's got
releases. That's all. It's just a timeline.
Well,
Just realized I'm chewing a cockroach. But yeah, if anything is going to drop, surely it's going to drop in the next couple of hours. But from what that says, it is just going to be more of the same old shit that we've got, and they're just going to reiterate.
We're not done
What?
yet, though. You're right. It could happen by the end of the day. We still might get something. That's why we're talking. People are listening. Look, we had Dr. Guerrero's on your show, Ellie Natick. You got Jeremy Corbell chiming in. Even the disclosure guy, was it the Jesus dude or whatever? He's in the house.
I sent him an invite on Twitter.
And that's, it's interesting. He's defending you, Rich. Jesus.
He was?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, man.
Jesus had your back, mate. He had
Jesus
your
had your
back.
back.
yeah.
So good for
Isn't
you,
that funny?
disclosure guy or whatever.
Post
Hey,
disclosure.
Rich. Hey, Rich, you've got a friend in Jesus.
It's about time, man. I'm a believer.
He's still watching. I can
You
tell.
know, he's come a long way though, man.
He has.
He really, really has. He's doing a pretty good job now.
Because
In my
he's been
opinion.
listening.
Who am I?
He's been
But,
listening.
yeah,
Yeah. It takes a while.
it does.
It's hard to transition somebody's mind in this thought process and look at the bigger picture because there's just they came in with their own opinions and kind of green in the situation as well, not really knowing the bigger picture. But then once you start getting into it, just like ourselves, we've had a different paradigm shift of the way we thought this 10 years ago, the bigger picture. And it's easy to see through, and it's just the information that keeps coming in from behind the scenes with all these major players. Then you start realizing, you just realize that this is crazy above top secret stuff, and they're gonna hold it. They're not, and they've done their job to keep it hidden from us, and that battle's lost.
Hey, that's funny. That's funny. Post disclosure world.
What I miss? Don't let
He says,
them
"Dark
know.
Sky Files. Don't let them know I think they are okay."
Hey, whatever.
Cool, man.
Did he ever
Seems
find? Did he
breaking down
find the bug?
walls, man? Breaking down those walls. These are
That's it.
people. This is what could happen, and we're seeing it right now in front of our eyes, right now, and that's pretty cool, man. We could all get together and rock this planet real fast if everybody just got together. We come up with some ideas, and we
Hey,
could
Richard
rip
Dolan
things
just
out
dropped in.
so fast. Who's in?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
it?
Just dropped in the chat.
Who?
Richard.
Richard. Hey,
Oh.
Richard.
Oh, Richard Dolan. Yes. There we go. We're going to have everybody on board tonight.
Where?
Oh, brother.
See what I say? The walls are breaking down. Richard, good to see you over here in the Alien Addict shot. Guess somebody
Thank
gave you wind that your name came up, and it did. And we had to let everybody know our debate's off. Unfortunately, maybe we could do it another time. Not sure what the reason was. I guess he had a conflict of timing, schedule, or whatever. But hey, maybe we could do it another time, and we'll see. There's a lot of things to discuss, and there's a lot of walls that need to be broken down. There's a lot of evidence that people are sitting on that could be put forth to everybody in the field to have chime in on this stuff. We're getting information on a daily basis. There's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of drama behind the scenes, which is unnecessary. So good to see Richard in the house. If he's got any
Why do
questions
you
for-
think it's unnecessary? Sometimes things have to be said.
Sure, but I think there's confusion. That's the thing.
Oh
Once-
yeah, well that's
people
true.
are just like, we can't read each other's minds. We're not telepathic, so we just might not understand each other. And once you have a dialogue, it could get squashed like that, right?
Yeah, we've seen it. I've seen it with you over the last
100%.
2 years with a lot of people. We've
Look,
squashed
Ellie and
things and
Alien Addict, GUFON, you guys were attacking Third Phase of Moon for years. But you guys, now that you've seen what's going on, all the evidence, how it's just on a daily basis of how this information comes in, now everybody's kind of part of this stuff. But hey, we reach out to our critics and want to explain our side of our thought process. And once that's done, then you're able to squash a lot of myths about what you believe about that person. And I was hoping we could do this with the Richard Dolan event, but we'll see what happens in the future about possibly doing it in maybe in a bigger fashion.
He'll be back.
Absolutely. I don't mean to jump in here, but guys, I do have to run. I'm on Grant Cameron's show at 7:00, so I'm going to go and prepare for that very quickly. But Ollie, this has been one hell of an epic show, and you know what Blake is talking about, what Lee's speaking on, what Rich is mentioning. We're breaking down walls right here, right now, tonight on the show. Maybe we were all waiting for something in the way to be given to us. Maybe what we just did here is going to lead to some sort of disclosure.
I just gave you disclosure, people. There you go.
Beautiful man.
Could go down in history. Could go down in history. But thank you for everybody. Whole panel here. You guys have been awesome, and thank you for everybody who came into the chat. Of course, Dr. Stephen Greer. Great to see you, man. Jeremy Corbell. Good job, man. Stepping up, saying that you're going to make this communication come on GUFON later. We will be all watching and entertaining that. Believe me. And of course, Richard Dolan. Thank you for popping in. And God help me if I've missed anybody. There've been so many coming through. But I have to run. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Michael, you are the most beautiful man in ufology, and that's coming from a man who's a married man. There you go. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you, bro. I very much do. I'll be watching.
Take care, brother.
Take care.
Thank you very much, guys. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Peace.
Ciao.
So there you go. Stephen,
Awesome.
Dr. Greer, and Jeremy. There's room. We've made room. Darko's kindly moved over, so one of you can join in. So that's wishful thinking. It's such an odd one that people this tonight. I'll be honest with you, a little bit overwhelmed, but at the same time, I'm also asking myself why. Why is everybody chiming in? Who? And my question is,
They're all watching.
probably to you, to Rich, and to you, Blake, that have been in this field for quite a long time. Out of everybody, out of, do you think any of them actually know the answers?
No.
I think Dr. Greer's been embedded for a long time in this. And, I asked him if he's seen the spaceship up close. Has he been right next to this meta propulsion craft? He said he hasn't. So in reality, he hasn't seen it either. He's getting briefed on apparently what's going on behind the scenes, but in actuality, nobody knows more than the other guy because we don't have above top secret clearance. But I do believe that, the reason why what happened today and this phenomenon of everybody jumping in on this show tonight on Alien Addict Show is just due to the fact that everybody's aware of this little circle of ours that we've been talking. We're the different voice of what you hear in the major media. And everybody wants to hear, everybody watches Third Phase. They don't admit it, but they're closely watching because that's where the news, that's where the evidence is coming out as faster than anywhere else on the planet. And obviously we've been dealing with these guys over the past few months in a small circle. And again, this community is so small, but there's so much fracture going on that we've seen. It's just, it's kind of sad to see because we kind of stay out of it. We're here in Hawaii. We're just doing our own thing. We're not into these conventions or whatever. We rarely come on these kind of platforms that we're doing right now. And it's sad to see and how fractured it's become over the past 3 months, where it could absolutely go the other way, just like that, just like how we're seeing right now. We're making history right now. And people wanted to find out what was going to happen with this dump today in regards to this disclosure, the pages. Nobody has anywhere to go. Nobody has any answers. So they're going to come back straight where the information's at, the public, and opposing views. We put out our information, and we invite our panel members to look at this and come up with their own mind of what's going on. And we invite everybody else to join in regards to this kind of progressive exploration, investigation, speculation, whatever it is. This is all we got. This is the only path we got, and we're going to take it. And I'm sure that everybody's kind of like rethinking about the big picture today.
Do you and Brent ever just kind of like sit down together, having dinner, and just say, you know what? I just don't think. I think Rich is right. It's never going to happen.
No, I think there's
you
some
do
kind of
think you do think we're going to get a disclosure.
Yeah, either way, we're going to find out something within our lifetime. I think it's destiny. I don't know. It's just it's, in my opinion, that's how I have an outlook on the future. But we don't know. Rich could be right. I got a feeling we're going to find out about some kind of ancient civilization with advanced technology that once existed here. Something along these lines. Or we're going to get this meta propulsion craft that seems otherworldly, and we're going to be able to utilize it, or it's going to be used hostile against us. It's just like, hey, look, man, we're living in the future right now.
I thought that was Tyler then. I thought, oh, here we go. I should send him an invite, actually. No, I know what you're saying, boys. I mean, at the end of the day, it could happen. It could. But I'm kind of like, I'm in Rich's side here, where I'm thinking.
Our documentary, when it comes out, the sequel to Countdown to Disclosure, the objective of that documentary is to make people mad as hell, and make them rise to demand more answers. It's a frustrating situation that we're all in, but we're going to be revealing a lot of things that's been happening behind the scenes, the major media, what they've been up to, and information that hasn't been seen or heard for over 30 years. And perspectives on things that a lot of people aren't aware of. So once you kind of come out and make these statements, it creates a movement. And we expect Countdown to Disclosure to get a lot of people pissed off out there, pissed off at the suppression of the information. It's frustrating.
You not think major media, though, damages this subject more than anything?
The major media damages it.
The major media, like in terms of this that's going on right now. I mean, I feel right now there is a damage control going on in the chat. It's insane.
This is all damage control. This is why people have come on the show to damage control. Hey, we're not changing our narrative. We're staying the same. But people are understanding we're on the forefront, the spearhead of all of this. So if they want to come along for the ride, these walls have to be broken down. And I think that's what's going on today.
Looks like Jeremy says he's going to email you, Rich. So I think he's going to go on your show tonight.
Yep.
He already said he was.
Good.
Yeah. I already got the show set up.
Perfect.
He's already made the thumbnail.
We'll see if he has the time. He might be busy today. I think he might schedule something.
He just said he's coming on tonight. I asked earlier. Perfect. I said, does your yes mean that you're coming on the show tonight? And he said, yes.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
So if it changes, it changes. I mean, it is spur of the moment. I get it. So, but if he doesn't come on, we'll talk. We'll talk about what happened. That's it. No, I don't want to, go after him. I'm not up for doing that. I mean, I already said what I had to say, and he's going to come on and we're going to talk about it. Maybe not tonight. If it's not tonight, maybe another night, but I hope it's sooner than later. That's for sure.
It should be today. Just get it over with. Squash this, Jeremy. And, let's move along. There's been a lot of things that have been said behind the scenes.
I've said a lot of things in front of the scenes, and, I'd like to explain some of those things.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Sorry to mean to cut you off, but.
Well, yeah, it's just that, there's things that we've been hearing with all these players that have kind of like wanting to derail third phase of moon for a long time. And, this information has become privy to us. And, it's just, there's things that, we could squash. We don't have to attach onto these things that happened in the past. We're in the future now, so let's move
That's-
along, guys.
Let's move along. Absolutely. I'm open to that, guys.
Yep.
Team together, everybody achieves more.
I would
There you
love
go.
it if we could all talk together anytime we want. That would be freaking
Exactly.
awesome.
That's the whole point. That's
You know,
forget the egos, guys. Let's drop the egos.
I'll drop mine.
Yeah, everybody, and then let's just rock and roll, man. Let's all bounce off the information we're receiving in liquid time and give the world what they deserve. Collaboration of minds and
I think I'm
information.
excited.
I am.
I think I'm a little excited for once.
I think I weed myself a little bit. You know, a little bit.
High five, high five.
High fives, everybody.
You guys are the best.
There you go.
Hey,
Oh,
well,
I love Americans.
hell yeah.
Why? Why would you say that now?
And Lee, what do I call you? An Isle of Manian?
Oh, Manx.
Manx. There you go.
Yeah.
Because
Manx.
me and Lee actually are not in the same. Lee, are we
Country.
classed as? We're not in the same country, no. Even though
No.
we look and sound the same, we're not in the same country.
Hey, we're gonna have to get going. We gotta get on some news today, but it was fun chiming in. Appreciate us.
Yeah,
having us
the
on
show's
always.
coming to an end anyway
Thanks
now,
for
mate.
coming on.
But yeah, thank you for coming on, boys.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks everybody
thanks.
in the chat. Good to see Dr. Guerrero. If you're still here, appreciate you. I know we spoke recently. We said, hey, you need to participate in these chats a little bit more. People are talking about you, and it's nice to see Guerrero approach people. And this is great. This is refreshing.
So
And it
cool.
seems like Jeremy Corbell. There's a little defense and offense going on here. But hey, look, this could happen. We could get things done. And then Richard Dolan came in. Good to see Richard.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we couldn't make that thing happen. But hey, let's do it some other time. Thanks, Ollie, Lee, Rich. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
And Lee, hit some of those drums, man. We've
I
been
will.
waiting for that track.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
guys. All right, we'll see you guys. You guys have a
See you
good
guys.
one.
Buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What has
And then
happened
there were
tonight?
3.
What has happened tonight?
And yeah, the 207 people, I think, or more than that.
I'm glad I wore a shirt.
I'm glad I put this on. There you
This
go.
was interesting.
Check out the merch, people. It was, yeah, it was. Oh yeah, Jeremy's. Jeremy rocks it.
What happened?
Jeremy and Bob. Yeah,
They're-
they rock the merch. Jeremy and Bob rock the merch. There you go, people. Just
Nice.
See, Jeremy and Bob are big supporters of my channel. There you go. That's not photoshopped at all. You know, I just think, and again, I hope when Jeremy comes on your show tonight, Rich, I know you will be polite because you're always polite.
Of course I am. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that.
I want you to press. I want you to press. I want you to find out as much as you can about the source where it's coming from. And I know you keep telling me you know the source. You know, George is getting it from the. Say it.
What's that?
Where's George getting it from? Where's George getting?
I don't know. I think he's got somebody in the Pentagon.
There you go. There you go. So George is getting it from the Pentagon. Yeah.
I got to say one thing real quick. Just remember, Jeremy, Dark Sky, you can thank him for putting your number out on the chat. He's the one who put the phone number up in the chat room that night. I just wanted to let you know where it came from, in case you didn't. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling Dark Sky Files right now. I'm calling you out because you created all this by putting Corbell's phone number in my chat room.
Is Dark Sky Files in the chat?
Yeah.
Why is he not showing on my chat? That's weird.
Well, I saw Jeremy say something to him. He's here. Yeah, it was and I don't mean to be a jerk, but I think he knows. I think Jeremy knew anyway, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I your number was, I've seen it other places too, and that sucks. I know what it's like when your phone number is out on social media and people are calling. And I just want to say, and hopefully you'll come on later or another day, but that was totally unintentional. It was.
No, he said it's coming on tonight, Rich, not another day.
Yeah, I
Listen,
know.
That's my morning viewing.
But anyway, that's where it happened. I'm sorry, Ollie. I just wanted to say that before I forget. I've been trying to say that for 20 minutes.
No. Lee, you look like you're dying to say something about what's gone on tonight.
It's just been a mental evening, hasn't it? That's I've either been listening to you guys or I've been reading the chat. It's it's been really weird because it's the type of YouTube like live stream I would watch. Apart from the fact that I was in it, I was like a little fly on the wall. It's been lovely.
I love Robert De Niro on the wall as well.
That's Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, sorry, yeah.
I kept like, is that Robert De Niro as Al Pacino?
Incidentally, two other people that haven't killed themselves.
I shouldn't laugh. The thing is, and this is for anybody who's watching this that's in the field, no matter what you think, whether you go that way or you go this way, this is no disrespect to anybody. This is frustration.
Yeah.
This is what this is. This is frustration because we, believe it or not, we don't make I definitely don't, and I speak to you every day, Rich, and you don't as yet, and maybe one day we will. But we don't make a living off it. We don't. It's not it doesn't generate huge amounts of. And I thank you for everybody that's super chatting. By the way, love you all. But this is a hobby, and this started out as a hobby. You've been doing this as a hobby for 15 years, Rich.
17.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But this is passion. The frustration that you're seeing is passion. I've had many a nights away from my wife, thank God. And some nights I've been like, my kids have gone upstairs and they've been watching a film with the missus when we could have probably watched it downstairs. But instead, I'm doing this because this is a passion for this subject, and I feel like we're on the tip of something. But my frustration is that it'll never go anywhere. And I think without the public pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing the people that are saying that, yes, we've got this footage, show us more or give us more information about the footage that you've got, the drop that you're going to give, because we're frustrated. The community is frustrated. The community is totally dividing, completely dividing. It is the strangest thing I have seen in this subject since I've been watching UFO stuff. It's insane. It's almost like it's like a little battle. It's like a little bitchy battle.
My frustration comes from hearing that disclosure is going to happen this year, that year, the next year, and nothing ever happens. It's like they get up to the door and they can't get through this door. No matter what, no matter who, no matter where, when, and why, you're never going to get this information out unless the government wants it out there. And what has been released and given to Corbell or Knapp or whatever, in my opinion, I know Mick West's opinion are pretty much equal, hasn't really been much to sneeze at. It's just really poor quality. And when you mention that these are transmedium craft and they're going thousands of miles an hour, well, where's the evidence of that? You can't say it unless we see it. And if there's 14 objects over an hour period, show me 14, not one. So it's, you're getting a lot of stuff that doesn't match the videos. You're getting this narrative that just doesn't stand up to the video, or the video doesn't stand up to the narrative. That's what's frustrating to me. And that's why I say the things I do, and I get very upset, and I keep hearing the same things over and over being repeated, and it sounds like a script. But I understand they're going on different shows, different this, that, and the other thing, and they're generally going to say the same things over and over. I get that. But I still don't see a body of evidence from Lou, and I still haven't seen a video that's convinced me that we have anything that's meta data, whatever the hell it is. What am I trying to say? Transmedium. I keep thinking meta propulsion.
Yeah, you know why we keep thinking meta? Because we'll forget the propulsion, but we were the word metamaterials was constant a couple of years ago, a year ago, whatever, was constantly chucked down a throat. And where's
we
that
don't-
gone now? We don't even hear much about that now. But I still want to know what's in that box.
I was just going to say that just became the hook line for a History Channel spoof mockumentary, didn't it? Anything that hits History Channel is just there for pure entertainment value. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not there
No.
to do anything. Look at
No,
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh. No comment.
Never since the Mermaid one. I'm not trusting any of those television programs anymore.
How dare you? They're
They're
killing those mermaids with global warming. Those poor mermaids. Well, I got to get going too. I hate to
No
leave.
worries, but yeah, you get prepared for your show. Rich, what time's the show at?
It's in 3 hours. It's at 10
There you
Eastern,
go.
7 Pacific. And I put it up that Jeremy is coming on. If he can't, I understand. I'm
No,
not
you
gonna
don't.
be
No,
upset.
you do. I don't understand. Jeremy, please go on Rich's
Of course,
show.
I'm trying. I'm
dying
trying to
see
now.
that.
I'm backpedaling a little bit. You know, look, I'm not.
Do you remember
I
the
don't want to
beard?
say I'm proud
beard,
of being
the
so
beard tips.
verbose, huh?
The beard
right.
tips. Don't forget the beard tips. I need to know that.
It's
Sorry.
moose oil.
How about if Jeremy comes on your show, you don't talk about the fact that he hasn't been on your show yet, and you just talk about UFOs for half an hour? That seems
Thanks.
like the best thing
That's
to do,
a good
doesn't it?
idea. Yeah, which I'll take into consideration for sure. No, that's what we're going to talk about. What else would we talk about? Beard? We're not going to talk about his beard. Not till the end. I'll do it for Ollie. Now he knows, so he's going to be prepared. He'll probably bring it up himself.
No, that beard will look beautiful. No, Rich, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to watching the show tomorrow. Because I'm not going to watch it in 3 hours' time, because I'll be fast asleep.
And thank you for having me on. You know, I had no idea this was going to be like this tonight. It was incredible.
No.
All the people that showed up, phenomenal support for Alien Addict. Lee, as always, pleasure
Pleasure.
for you. And no,
I was just going to say, has the report dropped? Yeah.
Of course,
let's take a look real quick. Let's see. What is this?
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh, he's winding me up. He's getting me back for the cockroach.
Oh,
No, I know that.
I don't see anything. Well, keep looking, man. Hey, it may come up in the next 4 hours and 43 minutes. They have till midnight. So
that would be cool to see tonight and watch you and Jeremy talk about that report.
Oh, that'd be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I would love that.
Well, Rich,
all right,
Giordano,
thanks again,
my friend.
And thanks
Good night,
to the
God
chat.
bless.
Good night. Alien bless you.
Bye.
All right, bye. God.
And then there was two.
Thank God he's gone, eh?
Two ginger warriors.
What a crazy evening.
What a crazy evening, people. It's been emotional. And to any of the people in ufology right now, they're in the chats, the Jeremys, the Stevens, the Dr. Stevens, should I say.
Yeah, because that's not weird speaking about those people being in the chat at all, is it? Jesus
and who else came in tonight? Did Tyler come in? No, Tyler didn't. No, Tyler messaged
Dolan.
Dolan, yeah. We love you all, but we need to see more. I mean, well, I can't say it for Dolan because Dolan's always very vocal and he goes live quite a lot of the times. But Jeremy, it'd be nice to see Jeremy go live and kind of speak a little bit, just as a human being. It'd be great to see Jeremy. It'd be great to see on Rich's show. He's talking about the subjects in general and seeing the person rather than just having the argument. Because it seemed like then that it was almost like we was all fighting with each other. But I think at the end of the day, we're all after one goal here, and that is to find out what the hell these things are doing up in our skies. I'm right there. Lee, what the hell are you typing there? You just type something to me.
I'm speaking to the people.
You speaking to Jeremy? You asking him back?
I did. I thanked him for being in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
Jeremy's just said he'll come on your show.
Oh, that'd be nice. Thank you very much, mate. You've got my email and you've got my telephone number. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a chat.
I'd like to come on for that as well, because I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to say it before when all the stuff was going on, but I'm a bit of a fan of Jeremy's documentaries, and I like the stuff he did with Rogan. So
yes, yeah. Well, I was going to say that in the chat, but in the stream there beforehand, Rogan. We've said this for a lot. Rogan, Terry Rogan, Joe Rogan. He's if Terry was still alive, he would bring ufology. Tell you, he would bring the truth. He would. Thank you, my friend, as well, for the super chat. Joe Rogan, I think you've said this all along, Lee. If anybody's going to interview an alien, it'll be Joe Rogan. But
absolutely, yeah.
He's in terms of this subject. If anybody's going to talk about this report, if it's exciting, it'll be him. If he doesn't mention it, you know it's nothing. If Joe doesn't even speak about it, you know this report is utter tosh and nothing to get excited about. And if what we've just seen, that is the report, then shame on them. But yeah, Jeremy, he's brought Bob on. He's brought, did he bring Fravor on? Am I right by saying he brought Fravor on? Yeah. He's bringing him to the table.
And
so for that, I thank you.
And Nap.
And Nap, yeah. Bit of George.
See, I think the thing is, even if, and I lots of this stuff I don't particularly trust. I don't trust where it's coming from, and that doesn't necessarily mean I don't trust Corbell or George Knapp, because they could be being fed stuff from other places. But at least what it does is, because I don't think even Third Phase sort of appreciated that before, when they were saying about how, and Rich was saying about sorry, no, it was you that said it, mainstream media hurting the subject. But what it does do is bring eyes to the subject. Do you know what I mean? So as much as maybe Third Phase aren't particularly keen on like Bob Lazar and the Flying Saucers documentary, that being on Netflix meant that when people saw Countdown to Disclosure on Amazon Prime, they were more likely to click it.
You see, I showed that documentary to my mum and dad. And said,
yeah, my dad watched it as well.
And I said, do you believe him? And my mum said, my mum's not even into the subject. She said, yeah, I believe Bob Lazar. My dad, he was like, I think he might have been, he may believe what he saw, but he's kind of like on Richard's side with this, where he thinks that Bob possibly thinks he was working on something that was all kind of like planned. They wanted to seed Bob out for us, basically, you know. So this kind of like it got out. And I've never got that though. I've never got that. So you saying that the government made that technology and they wanted Bob to actually go out, and I don't get that. But when you look at Bob Lazar, and I think I remember when Jeremy emailed me, he says a lot of the stuff that you say about Bob Lazar, you know, you've got spot on, but there's a few things that I'd like to speak to you about that you just way off, but I can't explain it to you. I want it explaining to me. But people have a big lack of trust in this field, and it's because there is so many different stories. Even if you look at the history of UFOs, Lee, and you look at the shape of them and the way, and then you look at cars, So
Yeah.
you look at the 1940s, 1950s, 60s, 70s, the way the car has changed its shape, and then you look at the
Why are we still looking at sources? We're still looking at sources. We're still
No,
looking at
no, I'm not
cigars,
saying that. I'm not saying that.
triangles.
It has changed its shape. It has. If you
Right,
look at
yeah.
the if you look at the Bob Lazar stuff, you look at that craft. I'm not saying that Bob Lazar's story is true or
Mhm.
false here, but now we're looking at a different model. You know, we're
Yeah,
looking at
but the saucer has always been one. The cigar shaped ones have always
yeah,
been one. The triangles have always been around as long as
the
I
Foo
can remember
Fighters,
this thing. Yeah.
the little orbs.
So yeah, it's the outliers, the likes of your man which faked them all in the mountains. What's his name?
Oh, you're on about Billy.
Yeah, Billy Meyer. Is it Meyer? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was the outliers that changed the like. I mean, his looked like fucking cake tins, didn't they? And they probably were cake tins.
Yeah, but well done for a man with one arm.
Oh well, I mean that's ableist, but yeah. Um, the thing is that I think the fact that there's always been saucers and there's always been cigars and triangles leans more towards the time travel aspect than anything else, because they could be doing this all at the same period of that period in the future. Do you know what I mean? So we're seeing them over a space of 70 or 100 years, something like that, but they're all coming from the same month
Yeah.
in a future time.
The thing what I'm talking about is I daren't say this, but when I'm saying that it's like cars, it's kind of, you look at the trends, you look at the
Yeah,
clothes
I know what you
people
mean.
wore in
Yeah.
them days.
Mhm.
If it was just humans faking UFOs, or, and we're modeling them on the kind of like designs of that era.
The only thing I'd interject with there is if it was just trends in
Yeah.
science fiction and technology, then at some point we would have had Buck Rogers style rockets being UFOs.
Yes, that is true.
And they were such a big part of science fiction, and we've never had aliens landing from a rocket before. Or if there is, it's the amount of cases it would be so small, and it's clearly bullshit.
Lonnie Zamora.
Excuse.
The guy, police officer, I think it was 1970s, a Tic Tac, like they called it the egg back then, landed, and he went out. Apparently, there was two small beings wearing like almost look like spacesuits.
Yep.
And there was a symbol on the side of the craft, like some sort of triangle with like red things going through it, red triangle with like lines going through it. And this craft apparently took off when he saw it, and it left a little bit of its landing gear behind, a tiny bit. And when they investigated, there were footprints, this, that, and the other. But the weird thing with that is, one, it represents, it was like the Tic Tac. Whenever if you look into that thing it describes the Tic Tac, and a little an egg like craft, even down to the size of it. The weird thing is the logo on the side of it, because all the media, and it was Osvaldo Franco when I interviewed him, I think the second time, he was speaking about this, and we would, I think the Tic Tac had kind of just come out, and he was talking about the logo. The very strange thing with this craft was the logo, because it got changed that much in the media. And if you look up the Lonnie Zamora craft logo, you can see that on the internet there's so many different shapes, but then there's people saying there was decoys. So it's kind of making me think that maybe this craft the fact that it left some landing gear behind maybe was ours. And yes, the creatures that Lonnie described were tiny in little spacesuits that entered the craft. But why try and disguise the logo on the side, the symbol on the side of the craft? And it got changed so much. It's almost like maybe the original logo maybe meant something that people would eventually say, well, that actual logo isn't alien or isn't whatever. It means this, that, and the other. It's a symbol for, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but do you know what I'm saying?
I would doubt that there would be anything
But Lee,
to
a
tie
bit
it.
of the landing gear broke off.
No, but
An alien ship.
But where is it?
I don't know. Maybe he pocketed it.
That's the thing.
He took it home as a souvenir.
But because we get I mean, realistically, is the only stuff we've got that the drops of there was a UFO, wasn't it, that left the drops of liquid metal. It was like a spiky thing. They never really drop bits off. But even the stuff when you look at the like Roswell wreckage and things, how there's supposed to be hieroglyphics on different parts of it and things like that. And as you know, I'm more than open for these not being technology and to being some sort of answer that is far more mystical to them than mere nuts and bolts.
Yeah,
and that's what that always shouts to me, you know.
Well, I think I don't imagine them to be nuts and bolts. I imagine actually, you know how bobblers are, like describe it as in a ceramic. I can't imagine something traveling that far and going that sort of speeds, being able to actually stay together, you know, without it actually falling to pieces and doing a Roswell. I just can't see that happening.
No, yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? You're talking about like literal unfathomable distances. You know,
But if it is bending the space in front of it, maybe it could be made out of anything. It could be made out of paper, and it won't make a difference.
Yeah, but I mean that is the problem, isn't it? It's one of the issues we have with like space exploration, as far as people even being interested in it now, is when you look at something like, just say, the sun, for instance, just the sheer size of the sun, and then you've got to try and work out in your head just how far away that has to be there in our sky. And then you think of traversing distances like of that times 1 billion to get here. It's just unfathomable to think things are coming that far. And then with the amount of planets and stars and things that are in the that are in the universe and the galaxies, to then think, oh well, then you've got to find life on one of them. You know, it should be teeming with life, but you know, the Fermi paradox sort of like questions that, you know, as they say, well, where is it? I don't know, but there's a deep feeling in my gut that believes there's something else here, but I just don't believe that it's from anywhere else but already here.
You mean in terms of something from our planet alone?
Yeah. Like a higher species that we don't come in contact with, an older species that we don't come in contact with. You know, it's do dogs know? Sorry, do ants know about chipmunks, for instance? You know, is there a point where where something could be that far ahead of us in technology, like in spiritual growth? They can be that far ahead of us that they're almost indistinguishable to us. If your cat watches you on a computer, it's just watching Ollie tap away at something that glows. it doesn't understand that that computer in front of you has all of the information of human history on it. So at what point does technology goes that far that it's completely indistinguishable to us from magic, to quote the adage?
It doesn't, Lee, but that's a story for another show because we have been going for an hour and nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes just about. And I'm slightly concerned that there's other shows starting. And because I'm not
Absolutely.
selfish, yeah, I want to kind of like end this so that, you know, the dark hours he's going on. I remember where did he say he was going on?
Jeremy.
No, no,
Jeremy
no.
Strong.
Everybody needs to chill. I agree, Jeremy. That's the comment of the night. There you go. We all need to chill out. Who's he going on now? Grant Cameron's show. And also Rich has got a show in, I believe, what time did he say?
3 hours it was, so about
3
2.5
hours.
hours.
Yeah. Where hopefully, fingers crossed, Jeremy will be on the show. And I'll be watching that tomorrow while having my breakfast. But guys, I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. All the people in ufology, all the subscribers, all the fans, everybody that's put the thumb up. If you haven't put the thumb up already, now's the time. You know, get that thumb up. And Stephen, thank you for coming in the chat as well. You can also put your thumb up, Mr. Stephen Greer, because we love you here. There you go. And I think we had Elon Musk in at one point, but he dropped out very quickly. And thank you, the cousins, for being in. We love you very much. And Jeremy, next time bring Bob in. If that t-shirt doesn't fit you, by the way, I will send you another one. But I thank you all. You're all awesome. Everybody in the field, whether somebody thinks you're doing the wrong thing or not, I just thank you anyway, because it's all entertaining for me and it kind of makes my channel. People don't know this, Lee, about me. Yeah, I'm in this for the entertainment.
If you're in it for the entertainment, I definitely am.
Stephen loves everybody. There you go. Awesome. I just honestly, when people come together, that's a great thing, Lee.
It is
and
great.
I think this is what needs to happen. Stephen and I think Lou, they need to sort their differences out. I don't know if it will, because I think there's a bit of bitterness there between them both. I don't know who's right or wrong. I really don't. You know, I'm pretty sure Stephen thinks that Lou's on the wrong side, but maybe Lou's not. Maybe Lou thinks he's on the right side, but maybe he's not on the right side. I don't know. It's so hard to work out. I need to have a conversation with these people. But without further ado, I am going to bring the show to an end because I know there's about to be other shows starting. So thank you, everybody. Check out the links in the description. Lee has a channel as well. He's a comedian, and sometimes he talks about ufology.
I'm definitely going to do a video talking about this tonight because this was fucking crazy.
There you go. And he's also on Spotify. So if you can't be bothered to actually
just Google Mussi Audio.
This,
Mussi Audio is everything.
It's
probably everything and everywhere.
He'll probably bang this out on his Spotify channel tomorrow or something.
This will be out on audio form on Mussi Audio next week, probably Tuesday.
There you go. Beautiful. So, folks, without further ado, I'm going to let you all get off and enjoy the other shows. Guys, if I don't have a strap line for keeping your eyes on the sky or anything like that, but just stay vigilant, yeah? And don't believe in bullshit. And most of all, take care of yourself. God, that's genius. But I do have a Patreon page. So if you do want to throw a couple of bucks my way for being such a upstanding UFO citizen, then feel free to check it out. It's in the description. And if you want to wear some merch that's delicious, and it is delicious because I designed it myself. Stephen, if you give me permission to do the Homer shirt, I'd love to do that. I'll give you a cut. But yeah, there's 3 designs. There you go. We have the Xenomorph, which they tried to copyright strike me for. But I said, no, it's my design. I made that. I drew that. It is mine. On the back of that, there is the AA logo on the back of the neck. And then we have none other than the grey that I saw in my dreams. I didn't really, but I just made it up. And the shadow figure. And you can, if you don't want it on your back, you can drink it. There you go. I've just realised Stephen's still on, but he's okay. He says, "Love you, everybody." I'll leave it on. But yeah, check out the merch, people. Good night. God bless. I only do that because the wife tells me to. She says, if you want to do this, if you want to stay up making noise downstairs while the children are in bed, you best sell some t-shirts. You bastard.
I thought you were going to say you best say good night to the people.
Oh, I'm probably going to get upstairs and she's going to be like,
Oh,
I hope it was worth it because I've not slept a wink.
I've just remembered I have vodka in the house. I don't drink vodka, but I'm definitely going to have a glass of it after we finish this.
I have Tony's vodka. I've not drunk it. My good friend Tony from Australia sent me some alien vodka like 2 years ago, and I said I would open it on a great occasion. I'm still waiting for the great occasion, though. But Lee, thank you so much, my friend. We will do a show very
Cheers,
soon,
guys.
I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
And I'll talk to you in a sec, Lee. Good night. God bless, folks.
Good night.
Mind the bugs. I've got hiccups. Mind the bugs don't bite. Thank you, everybody. Stephen, we love you. Good night. How do I end this show? There we go.